And hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome in. It is our Foxhole Fridays, and this is our Traveler Pirates of Drinax campaign named the Gamblers. So sorry for this extra late start. Our tech was... I had to rework tech, and it was not doing what I wanted it to do, but we can hear everybody, and we can see everybody. So thank you, and I'm so happy to be here with the best crew, the best spaceship crew you can imagine. So let's get it started. First off, thanks for being here. We would not be able to do this without you. Your presence makes all of this exciting. All of your comments in chat, all of your joy, all of your excitement. Thank you. And so if you would like to support this show, the best way you can do that is by being here, either live or in Memorex over there on YouTube. If you're at the YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, comment, as if you like. And if you are here, also chat with us in the chat, because I've got chat all up so I can see you. What else? So I believe that it's really important to pay your cast because I traumatized them and they need therapy and also... cats. So the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical specifically, and
we do need Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals
and therapy
in that order.
Yes. So if you would like to support us, please, you can give us tips and bits, and I will read out any tips and bits message you have given us at the end. You can be one of our Patreons. It's $3, but also we have a special $200 tier for sponsors, although there are only 4 slots. And if you're one of our sponsors, you get a special shout out, special place in the credits, and a special radio ad that plays in our break. We currently have one sponsor, and that is Will and TW, who is not only our sponsor, and he has been here forever, but also our note taker, without whom I would die.
I wouldn't know where we were.
Nobody would know. It would be terrible.
It's actually Willen playing the game.
It's true. Willen uses Snapchat filters so that he just looks like all of us, but yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you wish, you can also let people know. You can retweet, reskeet, and you can hang out with us on Discord. So. Mm-hmm. I believe that's all of our preface. I would like to have our players introduce themselves. If you could say who you are playing, and then I would like to have you answer a question. And that question would be, how do you deal... how do I frame this question in a way to be most provocative to a couple of people all at once? So I have to make it vague enough to encompass more than one thing. So it has to be about damage and things that you care about. So... what is the thing that you care about? What is the thing that you would least like to have damaged, right? That this thing, if it is damaged, will upset you the most. I would like to know that. So what being damaged would upset your character the most? And I would like to start with Lindy.
Careful with what you say, everybody, because it's what's going to be broken this game.
Or already has been broken. I'm just asking.
Already has been broken. Yeah, so choose wisely. I can
choose wisely. Also, Lindy, you're muted.
Hi, it's me, Laugh Love Lindy. I had a big swear. And I'm going to be playing Quint Vesper. Just hanging out with the Harlock and Sue right now. Oh, and the Baron, technically, Severance. That'll be fun. I can't wait for...
Yes, hold on. Your volume just dropped like a...
I've done nothing.
Let me get you
like
in
Val
there.
Trying to land the ship.
I know, it's terrible business.
Oh!
Good night, everybody.
Oh! Give me a second. For some reason, you just...
It's fine.
I do not hate you. I do not hate you at all.
I know the truth. It's fine.
No.
No, it's because you threatened a coup earlier, so he was like,
that
whoop!
is it. I did threaten a coup, but I didn't actually go through with it.
Well, now you know what happens on a
Just a little bit
threat.
of friendly coup threatening.
Okay, you look good to me.
Okay,
but...
Hi. I'm Lindy. Laugh Love Lindy. And I'm playing Quint Vesper, who's hanging out with the Harlock and unconscious Severance right now. I'm sure that'll be fine and fun when he wakes up. And made some new friends last week. They're great. I love them. And what would Quint be the most upset by being damaged? That is a great question. I kind of have 2 answers in mind, and because I feel like giving you gifts after threatening you with that coup. I'll give you both of them. The top two things that Quint would hate to have damaged. Number one is the stolen Viridian, the stolen Terran Viridian. That
I'm
they
sorry,
stole.
did you say stolen? Stolen Terran Viridian?
Yes, I did steal it.
Interesting.
That's fact. So my stolen Viridian, and the knife, my knife that I have, Quint's knife. That was a gift.
The axe thing, or the other knife?
No, my knife, my really sharp knife that Wesley sliced the shit out of himself with.
It's a really dangerous knife.
It's
The
a
other
really
dangerous knife that
oddly
you have on your
specific
possession.
dangerous knife. Yeah. That one has like some cultural significance though. This one's just
Monofilament blade or the holographic monofilament blade?
and those are my answers. There you go.
Okay, all right, okay. In which case, I think I want to go to... Oh, I didn't... Yeah, that's fine. Oh, so odd. I would like to go over to Greg next, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Hi, everybody. My name's Greg. I play Dr. Valentine Val Morrissey, and boy, oh boy, if Val could protect two things, I tell you what, the two things he'd want to protect, his great buddy Finn Sutter and Quinn. If anything happened to those two, he would be devastated. I've given you enough, Trooper, and so that's what you get from me tonight.
I'm going to just take that information...
Fingers crossed. Woo! Quinn, Finn Sutter. Hope they make it through this one.
I don't know the name.
I don't know what I'll do if something horrible were to happen.
Yeah, gonna just...
I've given you enough, Trooper.
I'm gonna just note that for later. Yeah.
I love
Thank you. Lindy, you don't have to be here next week. Or
Oh, okay, thanks.
you'll probably just have to make a new character. Okay.
We do have the character that I technically rolled up first, so we could just
That's
bring
true.
her in.
You had a practice character?
Before all
Wait,
y'all made
this-
your characters, I played one.
What?
This
This is our.
That's not fair.
How can we even compete with that?
Even
It's
if
a
I had,
practice
even
run.
if this was my practice character, there's millions of him. So I would just have him again.
Let's go next with Rocket. Who are you? Who are you playing? And which things would your character be most upset about being damaged? Or no, I'm sorry. Wait. Pause. I was very deliberate in not using the word things. What would your... I was very deliberate in that phrasing. Pardon me. What would your character be most upset about being damaged?
But not things.
I didn't. I
things.
deliberately avoided the word things.
Oh, okay.
Because it could be a
Wonderful.
thing. It could not be a thing. I didn't want it to be open.
Definitely a noun.
Is it a whole thing?
Oh, paradox of choice. Hey everybody, it's me, Rocket Fox, your second favorite person, and I am playing the Harlock this evening. And yeah, things but not things that she would hate to have damaged and or destroyed, etc. It's hard because she doesn't have like a lot of things that or people that she takes with her from one place to the next, really. I think right now, if I had to say, I'll give you a thing and a person. She's partial to her sword because it was a gift in the psionic space, and it's pretty cool. It does some pretty neat things. It's pretty rad. And I think also to a degree, probably Severance, because she's been actively working to keep him safe. Not that she, and I think to a certain degree, she would do that with most of the crew. But based on history, I think that would probably be her top person pick.
Interesting.
No.
I not to provoke you or anything. I suppose there's some
Please.
things that you failed to protect in the past.
Well, maybe a
I know
thing
what
or
they
two.
are. You didn't tell me, but I know.
I'm sure you have enough to know.
So I feel like we need to talk to Severance now. Dearest Cord, who are you? Who are you playing? And what would Severance be most upset about being damaged?
Hi everyone, it's me, Cord. I stream sometimes, but tonight I'm playing Captain Admiral Baron the Corsair Severance. He is a clone that has gone rogue and has been sort of like dropped off on an abandoned planet and sort of lived his life. You know, it's funny because I've been watching Game of Thrones lately and also Fallout. So this is exciting because I can make both these reference and it's exciting to me. Also, speaking of which, I've been making a Pip-Boy out of an old gray water pipe. It's bronze. It's awesome. It's got a sweet base. I don't know what the computer components is going to look like yet. But anyway, that's what I've been working on all week. I make stuff also. So if you have a video game that you want to make a prop for a promotion, I'll do it. Anyway, my DMs are open. So I feel like Baron Severance is living in this post-apocalyptic world, much like Fallout, or lived his post-apocalyptic life.
It's true.
On Drinax, a world that was decimated. But Game of Thrones, here it comes. I feel like he is a lot like Tyrion Lannister in the fact that he doesn't fight. Other people will fight for him. The only thing is he's not actually noble. So he's sort of a fake it till you make it kind of guy, and he's made it this far probably by lying and selling drugs. But what would be the thing that or not thing, we don't need to say that, but what would be something that would upset him if it was to get damaged? Was the question mark?
What would he be upset about being damaged?
I think his reputation.
Mm-hmm.
He's learned, or he's gained a lot so far by making it this far. There were objects I had until moments ago where I decided that I think it was a reputation. And I think that was going to be probably like his tablets, the information that he has. But I think really more than that, I think is his reputation. He is trying to make his own life. He is a clone of an admiral and of the Imperium, and he is trying to make his own life as a baron of Drinax. So it is, he's trying to make, like, even though he shares the same body as his prime and the same identity for the most part across the world and across the stars, he is still trying to make his own life. And the fact that he's brought it this far, like, yeah, there's still, like, when he shows up somewhere, someone is like, hey, aren't you that guy? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I feel like his identity is in the shadows of this other identity. But it still is. If that was to get marred, battered and bruised, even to the people of Drinax or even the king of Drinax, then I think that's where he would probably start to take a turn.
Yeah.
But that won't happen, right? So
No.
I think we're good. Perfect.
I mean, no.
I thought it was just a question that was just, for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinking exercise.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Perfect.
Nothing else. Ari,
Yes.
who are you? Who are you playing? And what would your character be most upset about being damaged?
Hi, I am Ari, Ari_Ventures. You can find me online on places and things. And I am playing Terrica. They are a very good pilot. And if you ask them, that's all that they'll tell you that they are. They would never tell you about anything having to do with their lineage or who they were born to, or the fact that Lady Hill may have done some weird hanky-panky with an ancient person to create them. Anyway, the point is, that's Terrica. And so...
Emphasis on weird hanky-panky.
Weird
I feel like-
hanky-panky.
Yeah, real
How
weird.
much do you know about your mom's sex life? That's like a whole thing, but go on.
Real weird.
I mean, I think Terrica probably knows more than they ever wanted to know. Like, I don't know that this was I'm trying to figure out where my, okay, there we go. And you. Yes, agreed, Cliff. Exactly. So, things that, well, one of the obvious things, well, okay, not things. In this order: Val, the gambler, and I'll give you a third, Wesley.
Okay. Great. That's all I wanted to know. So, I am Trooper SJP, and I will be the GM of this crew for today. Welcome to episode 7. We last left off our heroes, Tagonists. They were, well, gosh, they'd been flying towards Assis, this planet where Wesley was going to go and get some surgery, and they were going to go and, sort of the end of the line, getting rid of their passengers and their grebes and all of that. And in the process, for drug-taking reasons, Terrica ended up teleporting out of jump space and into a secret lab, using the power of a very large bunch of Viridian as an anchor. Our crew, led by Severance, was like, nope, we are absolutely going right now, immediately, to try to find them. And then they, the gamblers went to a small planet called TkTk, which is not technologically advanced. It's a planet, it's a thing, it's got a toxic atmosphere, it's part of the space lanes that nobody goes to. And it has about 6 million people who live there, 2 million of which are this sort of small reptilian bird-like creatures, sort of dinosaur-style creatures called TkTks. And our protagonists flew to this planet. They were trying to find Terrica. In the process of landing, there was some damage to the gambler that Terrica does not yet know about. I don't want to talk about it yet. I mean, I'm really excited just to find out what happens. Anyhow, Terrica wakes up in a lab full of clones, Terrica clones, murders them, just slaughters them in a super, super cruel, ancient warlord sort of a way, just like with all this sort of just like fire. It was great. And then was just taking these psionic drugs that are very, very powerful and nobody really even knows all the consequences for, since no one's ever taken a full dose, but it's great. And just willy-nilly, just murder. It was pretty cool. And then just disposing of bodies, just cruel.
What? What?
People were there last week, and so anyway,
Some bull happening on this.
Maybe I'm just being provocative. The rest of our crew were trying to figure out where they could find Terrica. And so they decided to try to find one of these TkTk villages, because the TkTks do not live with everybody else. They sort of live out hiding in the outback. They come down to a TkTk village. They sit down. They're standing out. The TkTks see Severance, freak out, and run. Like, they just sort of abandon that village and leave. And the rest of the crew decide to try to see if they can get into psionic contact. And they all enter into the psionic world. All of them are connected at this moment into the psionic space. And in the course of this conversation, a couple of things happened. Val decides that he's going to use whatever power he can to physically bring himself to where Terrica is. Doing so basically uses up the last of the life essence of the Terran Viridian that's there. Kind of not so great. So we have Val teleported into the space where Terrica is in the underground lab, and then you have Severance, the Harlock, and Quint by the ship with the suit, by this village in psionic space, and at some point in time, Severance dropped out of that call, and they didn't really think much about it until they got out of the call. Let's just gloss over that moment. Let's just say that Quint and Harlock did some tracking. They had some conversations with the TkTks. The TkTks attacked them with spears, trying to murder them because the TkTks are very dangerous. The TkTks did grievous bodily harm to the Harlock, just so bad. then there's a conversation in the TkTk village. A package was picked up, discussion of what they know of the ancient warlord and it turns out there are a lot of ancient warlords, many of whom have died in a great war over 300,000 years ago, and they're powerful enough that they can destroy stars. And they tend to just, they've been gone for a long time, and then one of them showed up and just keeps grabbing them and murdering them and torturing them and killing them, and it's really bad, and they don't like it. But the TkTk sort of led Quint and the Harlock and the things they picked up to the edge of like a kind of like a no man's zone where they can come to the entrance of where this secret lab is. So as we speak at this moment, we have the Quint, the Harlock, and all of the things they picked up sort of overlooking a ridge where in the distance there's a mesa, and in the mesa is where the entrance to this underground secret ancient lab is, and there are some sort of rocks on the front, which they are like, ooh, those are secret killer murder robots. And then on the inside, we have Val and the Harlock. Val and Terrica. Terrica went and got to see their new ship. It's a nice space yacht with a jump 4 drive and a 6 maneuver drive. It is fast. It is also not small, so it cannot be attached to the Gambler. They're not quite certain what they're going to do about that. But this is where we are going to let us know where we are. I need to talk, however, first to Severance. That's who I need to speak with, first and foremost, right away. Severance.
Yes, what?
You know how you were... There we go. You know how you were in a psionic call?
Yes.
With everybody. And everything was great. And there was a whole conversation going. As this conversation... Oh, also, by the way, last week they saw the inside of Sue's psionic bedroom. I wouldn't worry about it. It was bad.
I'm not worried about it.
It was fine.
Sue's psionic bedroom?
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions. All right.
Yeah. So you are in this call with them, and Val
fan
has...
art roll, by the way. Fan art, please, from Sue's psionic bedroom.
It's going to be difficult to do because it's a bit non-Euclidean, that psionic bedroom, but that's okay.
Josh me
Three
into
halves.
it.
3 halves. Get some Escher in there. Val had teleported out, and you are there, and you're sort of all sort of in this space thinking about like trying to deal with what you are. And while you're there, you hear a baby crying.
All right.
In the psionic space. Out that way.
In a specific direction, yes.
Yes. Towards the village, you hear a baby crying. Now, you're in psionic space, and you're kind of
Like
in...
a human baby, not a
yeah.
TkTk baby.
No, a human baby. But you're in psionic space, and it's sort of Terrica's psionic space. So you've got sort of like Drinax and the star and the sun. But you're here, but you're kind of getting a sense of the TkTk village is sort of shimmering in like a mirage, and you can hear a psionic baby crying.
Right, I push forward towards the sound. It's pretty... you said a psionic baby. Like, I can tell that it's a
Yes.
psionic baby, or it's like,
Well,
it's a psionic cry, or it's a cry in my psionic space.
It's a cry in your psionic space.
Okay,
Like you
okay.
can hear like a baby crying.
Yeah. Right, I would then probably push forward towards... am I alone in this space now?
Well, you were with everyone, right? But
Right.
they're all standing there kind of like talking, and you can hear this baby out there off to the deeper towards where the village is, psionically, right?
I feel like if this was a show, the camera would like cut to a close-up of me and then like sort of zoom out and no one's near me.
That is
Like
correct.
I'm still in the same place. There's
Yeah.
that, and then like it's the same location, but no one else is next to me. Okay.
Yeah.
I then, without like looking around, I think he then starts to advance towards the sound of a baby crying.
And you remember what it looked like, the TkTk village, right? Which is sort of very camouflaged. They've kind of got like hobbit holes, right? Sort of like,
Right.
so you can't really see that it's a village from overhead. When you're down below and you get close enough, you can. But
A
as
bunch
you're
of
walking in,
mounds.
yeah, a bunch of mounds. But as you're getting
Like
closer,
dark
it
chocolate
doesn't.
and almond.
Yes.
Right.
But some of them are just almond joy and they have no nuts. And yeah, but almond joy has nuts, but mounds don't. But as you're getting closer,
Silly me.
you notice on the ground some rose petals.
Mhm.
And then, like, as you look on the ground and you see these rose petals, the ground below you is no longer the sort of dirt of TkTk, but it's like a cultivated path, like a garden path.
Mhm. Mhm.
And when you look back up to the direction you're heading, the TkTk village, where the sound of the baby crying is no longer the TkTk village. You recognize in some ways the sort of there are those signs of Marymore's psionic inner space. You know, the roses, the rose garden, like the water gardens, like there are these things that you
Right.
recognize as being part of Marymore's psionic space, like part of your memories, but
Right.
it's sort of like that, but it's also not actually. There's something about it that has shifted. It feels like you're not exactly walking back into Marymore's space, but you're walking back into something that is a bit overlaid upon it. It looks a bit more, it's sort of like a large estate, a noble estate, but the architecture is not architecture you recognize. You see off in the distance, quite far away, some creatures sort of running by. They seem to be sort of large, sort of like apex predator type creatures. But they are quite distant from you. Like you can kind of see them off in the distance as if they are just in this space. It seems like you're in an
Bipedal,
estate.
quadrupedal,
Rocket,
tripedal.
Why, yes.
could you describe those creatures that are native to your planet that are on the crest of your family's crest?
So, interestingly, if we remember one of our previous adventures with those psionic large cats that looked kind of like large cats, kind of like cat lizard creatures, it's similar to that, but if you were to imagine them in less of like a jungle and more of a swamp, had they evolved for that, it would be somewhat like that, but very large cat, more scales than fur, but they have various different spikes sticking out at different points, and their tail kind of comes back up and around, almost like a scorpion tail. But they
Manticore like.
kind of, yeah, but they can also do the alligator thing where they'll like go in and out of the water and such.
Cool. Gross.
And it's one of those things where, like, you know, if you were out somewhere and you like saw a bear in the distance, the bear's not paying attention to you, which is probably good. But these are not creatures you've seen before as they sort of pass in the distance. And you can still hear the baby crying somewhere inside or around the back of this estate.
I immediately go to grab my ceremonial rapier, and I don't know if I draw it, but I have my hands on it just in case, and I just sort of press forward. I know I'm in a psionic space.
Yes.
Then I draw my rapier.
You draw your rapier, and it feels, of course, quite natural for you in this space to draw it as if you've done this so many times.
Right.
And as you move around the side, the thing about psionic space is it's a little strange, you know?
Right.
Because...
Confidence is key, though, really.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strange because the reality of the environment shifts so quickly, like in the same way
Right.
that like you do a close up on your face, we pull back, everybody else is gone.
Right.
Or you
It's
turn
normal, yeah.
around, they turn the corner of this large estate. And when you turn the corner of the large estate, you're in this sort of deserty scrub place. And there's this shack, a shack in the middle of nowhere with a porch. And you feel like you've been to this shack before. That it feels very familiar to you, but it's at the edge of your memory, as if it's a memory that you somehow remember forgetting. Do you know what I mean? Like you remember that this might have been a memory of yours, but you can't recall it. Like you cannot access that memory. So you both do and don't remember it, or you remember not remembering it, if that makes any sense.
And then I think as I sort of notice and have this odd familiar feeling, I put the tip of the blade back into its scabbard and I slowly sheath it as I walk closer toward this confusing image.
And the sound of the baby crying is coming from inside of this shack.
I look around and I then open the door if I may.
Before you can, I must tell you two things. There's also a smell coming from inside the shack, and it's a dinner. It's some sort of food that's being cooked, and it smells amazing. What is it that's being cooked?
Me?
What might you have cooked at this moment?
Roasted root vegetables. It's one of the easiest things you can make and grow on Drinax. Not the leafy greens aren't great for the atmosphere, but the deep below the surface you can dandelion root as well as many other vegetable tubers like potatoes and such, and parsnip as well can be. Beets, something like beets, Drinaxian probably, but those all probably have been roasted into a pan usually, and then sautéed with some sort of oil.
And then you hear a lullaby being sung to calm the crying baby. Or hummed.
Do I recognize the tone?
I don't know. The Harlock?
I think so.
What is this lullaby like?
It would be something along the lines of and it would be a hummed but not vocalized version of a war song. But
A feel good song.
yeah, good for the whole family.
Yeah.
But it's
Something to conquer your friends too.
yeah, to conquer all the future enemies that but it would be one of the only ones that she knows super well from having learned it over and over and over and over.
Oh, it's a familiar lullaby.
It's being used as a lullaby, but yes.
Right. But I probably would have heard it before.
Probably not.
In this lullaby sense?
You would have heard it before in the lullaby sense, not the
Not as a war.
Yes, yes.
Not as a war dirge.
Yeah, the decapitations are kept to a minimum.
Yeah.
And I think music is such a, like music and smell, these things are very visceral. And it's easy to forget things, but some things trigger memories quite strongly. And the smell of this meal being cooked and the sound of this lullaby is just very, very, it's a little bit overwhelming in the sense that it's like the memories are very strong. it's that weird, strange juxtaposition of remembering and not remembering something at the same time, as if, like, let's just get a hypothetical. Let's just hypothetically imagine this, like this. I'm just giving you a hypothetical metaphor. Like you would experience something, and then somebody wiped your memory multiple times, but some things are just so visceral that they just keep poking out of.
Right. It's like
this is a hypothetical, though.
The body doesn't forget. So it's like, maybe like my mind has forgotten the imagery, but my body is still having this reaction of dopamine or euphoria because of the smells and things. But I know that it's supposed to trigger a memory, but the memory is just not happening.
Yeah.
Right?
But you can almost feel it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can almost, when your memory is in your taste buds and when your memory is in your body, that is just there, right? And so those.
It's a very interesting feeling. Because I'm not, there's no context to what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling some euphoria, some happiness. Okay. So it's like a sort of a physical sense of safety.
Yes. And you can taste it, right? You know, you can taste. Right. And I remember, if I remember correctly, you're about to put your hand on the doorknob.
Yes, I was.
And before you do, you hear a behind you.
I lift my hand away from the handle of the door and I slowly turn. My left hand is resting on the blades, the handle.
And behind you, there is a squad of soldiers. And they're all crouched low as if they're about to pounce, do a raid, right?
Right.
And they're looking at you. And they are wearing armor of a style that you're not used to. It's not anything that you've seen in Drinax. You've been on the Imperial side of the Reaches, so it's not Imperial armor. And they're sort of hunched down. They've got weapons, and they're in that sort of assault mode. And the one that's in front looks to you and does not speaks to you, but with clearly psionically, and says, "Sir, are you ready to do the raid? Do you think that they're armed?"
No. How would they be?
Well, they're dangerous. He's dangerous.
We all are.
We'll go around the back, sir?
Fine.
And the one in front sort of makes a gesture, and about 4 or 5 move around the side to the back of this sort of shack. And then the one who's close to you says, "Sir, just give us the word."
Right. I don't want any of you acting unless I give the signal.
"Yes, sir." Says,
no matter how long it takes. No action unless I give the signal. You understand?
"Yes, sir. Sir, I'm having a hard time believing that she'd betray us. I mean, her family. Do you think it's really true?"
I don't know what is true and what is a lie. But it doesn't matter what I think, it matters what I know. And right now I don't have any of the answers to give you confidence in right or wrong or true or false. So
"Yes, sir."
that is what this raid will help with.
"Yes, sir."
You understand?
"Yes, sir." And he waits, and you notice that you are wearing the armor of these people. The same sort of armor that they're wearing. And right. You have now, you had your rapier in your hand, but now you have a gun, a rifle. an assault rifle, and the assault rifle has got sort of technology in it that you don't really recognize, but you feel that it pulses with psionic power. And you have a helmet on, and you are in some ways someone else, and there's these sort of windows on this sort of porch with a rocking bench, and you can kind of see these windows, and you see behind the curtains of one of these windows just moving slightly. You thought you saw someone in red. You weren't quite certain. It just was like a memory of yourself, perhaps. But the door is there.
Remember, wait for the signal.
Yes, sir.
And I go to open the door.
Hand on the doorknob, turning it. And it makes a sort of a sound.
Baby still crying? Lullaby still happening?
The lullaby is still happening. The baby is calming down on the inside, and then you hear someone very familiar say something. On the other side of the door, what would Severance have said to the Harlock in this moment?
What moment is this?
Well, it's a
This
moment.
is a moment of food
Yes.
being served.
Mm.
A moment with a baby.
Mm.
I think it would just be food is ready, darling.
And you hear from inside the cabin, perhaps yourself, although you're in a different body, say, "The food is ready, darling." And what does the Harlock respond?
Oh, thank you so much. Get the bottle. Could you hand me the bottle from over on the stove? No, over there.
Right, over here. Of course.
That is what you hear right before you are ready to begin the raid on this small place.
I pause for a moment. I look at the gentleman who's been looking at me and waiting for my signal. I sort of have this moment of weariness, and then I open the door.
And as you open the door, your eyes open. And you are tied up, and you are on Quint's shoulder. Quint is holding you like a sack of potatoes.
I think I've backpacked him. I think I said I did it so that way it'd be less uncomfortable when he wakes up. Yeah, you're like, basically you've been papoosed backwards with like some fabric. You are tied to Quint, basically.
Like a Yoda? Like a
Yes,
baby,
like
a
a
baby
baby
Bjorn?
Yoda, like a Yoda. Yes, on the
Like
back.
your little
Yoda backpack.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to give you two things to think
You're
about
awake.
in this moment. Before, have you ever seen the film Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeves and
Negative.
okay, so there's a spoiler moment, which I'm not going to give you detail, but there's this thing that's happening as your eyes are opening.
Mm-hmm.
And you are coming to in a place where you're being papoosed, and there's Quint, and there is the Harlock, and you're by this ridge, and you're overlooking a mesa that's a little bit in the distance. But as you are coming to in the same moment, this other memory is slipping from your fingers. Just as you're opening the door, about to see what is inside, there is something inside this shack and inside this cabin. And if you can just open the door, you can see what's inside. You've been hearing these voices, but you don't you haven't seen it, and the door is opening, and if you could just stay in that memory, you might be able to see, but it's just pulling away from you, and you can't. Before you can just get some of the door open. You can see some of the inside of the interior of this cabin, but before you can see anyone who's inside, this memory is pulled out of your fingers.
Wait for my signal. God. What?
Oh, good, you're awake. Let me get you down.
What's
What?
inside?
What's
Where are
for
they?
inside? What's he? Quint, what's he talking about?
That's delicious.
Were you having some kind of dream? Or
Yeah, he
something?
must have
You
been.
were unconscious
Yes,
for
I
a
was.
while.
Yes.
What happened? Where am I?
Oh, the
Where are we?
the
What am I doing?
TkTks.
Put me down. What is
I'm
this?
untying you. I'm untying you. Here.
You're
Gently
tied on. You're tied on.
Set. Down.
Free my
Untie.
hands. I feel like just legitimately I've been swaddled like a baby. It's just my head. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, you were taken hostage by the TkTks. Very
What?
and kind of glances at Quint. Very rough crowd they are.
Good.
I've seen
I'm glad I'm alive, right? We're alive. I'm alive.
Yeah,
This
we've
is reality.
negotiated.
Yes.
We're at truce now. We're cool. They're cool. You're free.
Truly, we saved your life. It
true.
was you were in horrific danger. Very, very dangerous. Lots of claws.
Good thing both of us were there.
That's
Good
that's
thing.
right.
Good thing. Well,
Good, yes.
Congratulations.
Yes,
For
that's-
saving me.
And again, keeps like just glancing over.
Yep.
Quint.
Well, Quint's got the straightest of straight man faces, because when two spies
so-
try to do bullshitting, that's what happens. It's just
Severance-
very convincing.
Would notice the Harlock does have a spear wound, so
Yeah, that's right. You got a
would
little-
indicate how dangerous it is by the spear wound in the side.
You are-
Point of order.
Yes.
Could you roll your Severance like a medic first aid?
Severance medic?
If you could roll that, please, based on
It's so
Oh.
Well, what would this be? Medic? I don't have anything like that. Who do you think I am? But you want something medic-wise. I can give you street chemist.
yeah,
Give
that
you
works.
street-wise.
Street
But that's
chemist would
it.
work.
I got
Street chemistry.
Perfect. Intel?
Yes, please, for sussing out the situation.
Also,
my
probably have a lot of
side.
little bruises.
Okay,
A lot of little bruises.
but very little ones.
so
all over.
there is this spear wound that you can tell.
Oh no.
I would
My
not
side.
describe it as a grievous spear wound. I would describe it as a scratch that was just able to penetrate the armor. I wouldn't really call. I would say that the armor took more damage than the Harlock did, and
There's a little blood there.
a little
That's
blood.
it.
Yeah. And
It's a little,
I-
little pink on my armor.
Captain, you wounded. What happened?
Oh, so devastating. Yes.
Spear right to the side.
Right, trying to save you is where this came
Yes,
from.
I assume. Otherwise, it would be embarrassing because it wouldn't be at all near me saving me.
Yes, that's,
Well, thank you for your grievous scratch.
you're welcome.
Are you all right?
Harlock's just gonna start walking away.
All right.
Thankfully,
Well,
we were
you're-
able to dodge most of the spears. Which is a genuine truth.
And I'm going to note, dearest Severance, you are no longer in front of that village. You don't have the ship around you, and I believe Sue is not there
Oh,
either.
We're just
So
in
you were-
because we
the
left
in the
Sue at
nowhere.
ship.
Yes, you are.
Okay, right.
You are on a ridge in front of or overlooking sort of like a big sort of cleared out area with some kind of rocks in front of it, like sort of in slightly odd, like suspiciously mostly regular sort of distances leading up to this mesa that has like a just like a mesa, and you all three of you are there like as if you're as if you were a squad of people about to, doing recon for an assault on a
Shack in the middle of nowhere.
yes, yeah,
Mm.
but a bit
Where,
further out.
Where are we? Where's the gambler?
Let me
Where is
catch you
everyone
up.
else?
We are this, and I point in like the general in front of us area. That is where the evil warlord's hideout was. That Terrica and Val are currently in. Val teleported
The evil
there.
warlord. What are you talking about?
The one that looked
Oh,
well, the one I thought was you, but it turns out it actually looks like Terrica. That's one.
so, uh, Severance, do you remember? I spoke with you about the laboratory before.
Yes.
Well, as it happens, our Terrica
Bunch of
found
clones.
another one, but this one was filled with Terricas.
Ericas. Yes, I had a
Yes.
vision it would.
Yes.
All right,
Well,
so that's cool that
they're
I could
there.
just have those visions and they're true. What does
But
that
there's
mean?
probably a reason. I do believe it's one of the laboratories for that Merrimore had.
Right.
So
Is that
you
Yes,
is
yes,
that
I mean,
the name
what-
of
Probably
the
has it.
century millennial old warlord?
That's-
Merrymore would be my prime, yes.
Merrymore?
Yes,
okay,
that's the,
yes.
the name.
Yes.
The name we
Merrymore's
know him
hideout,
as,
and I like
anyway.
gesture like a bit more like there. That's what it is.
That's wonderful. But let's go back to the clairvoyant visions I was having. Is that normal? Is this proving that I am more psionic than we thought?
Well, it could also be because you're inhabiting his body. That there's.
Oh, so it's not. It's just a
it's
side
technically speaking, it is his brain. So a lot of the electronic
Right.
zips and zaps are probably reconfiguring, and you're having some. Yes, you. Quit.
I thought he was a clone.
Correct.
Well, he began as a clone, but there was
Correct. Was a clone, yes.
Yes, but now
Right.
so fun news, funny story.
This is interesting.
It turns out that most of the clones are much like empty shells, like
Sure.
the suits.
Right. Yes.
Well, this
Us.
one, gestures to Severance, actually.
Severance has
turns
already
out-
started to walk sort of away as you've unwrapped me from your papoose. And he sort of walks away, and then I picture a vista nearby, and he has already sort of parted his cloak and has unzipped his fly, and it starts just pissing over the cliff as you're
Yep.
talking about this.
Perfect.
So this one is unique in that
Keep going, I can still hear you.
Yeah, in that he came with a life inside. There was a spark
Right.
inside the shell, so to speak. And
Okay.
so he was on recognizance with me. We had actually gone to the Baron Merrymore's estate, and they ended up crossing paths. It was very surprising. We weren't expecting him to be there, but. Well, they got into a fight, and then his body was killed, but then somehow or another he ended up switching bodies, and now he's in the original.
and that's in the
the original,
Okay.
the actual original body is. I saw it
Sure.
when I went to the laboratory. It was very old. Do you know? Do they have where you're from? Do they talk about the ancients?
Oh yes, many
Ah.
stories. Yes.
Whispering.
Wonderful. Well, it's
It's
seems
not,
Thank
not
you.
like
might
the
be one of
story that
those.
they TkTk told us a little bit, but this is just clarifying some things. Okay, I just
yes. So it turns out that
original
likely
body. It threw me for a loop. I thought I knew the
Yes.
situation. All right, I'm caught up now.
It's essentially what you knew, just a little more convoluted.
Just a little more convoluted. It's always
Yes.
is.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
thank you. I'm good now. I just I had to know. I was very confused. Could be.
Yes, it's hard to remember who knows what because, well, there's a lot of information, a lot of people that keep coming and going.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Yes.
So, what's our plan for this, though? Gestures.
Well, those
No
rocks
idea.
over there aren't actually rocks. I believe
Oh.
they're like big robot turret things that will try to annihilate us if we get
I
much
prefer not
closer.
to be annihilated at this point.
Yes, that's why I reached out to try to get Terrica, and I connected with Terrica for a moment to ask
You
if what
did?
the plan was. Yes.
Is that something you've normally been able to do?
Well, I mean, I figured we were close enough, maybe here. I don't really know how it all works.
Generally, it's not a matter of proximity when you're using psion. So you were able to get in touch, though.
Yes.
What did they say?
They've got a ship, and they
Oh.
have Val. I asked if they wanted to like meet up at the spaceport or somewhere else, or if they wanted us to come in. Although it doesn't look like we're getting in very easily with the robots down here, so they have not answered that query.
Well, if they have a ship, they don't need us here.
Should we go back to our ship?
Yes.
Probably.
Where are we
Terrica,
going? What ship are we going to?
Terrica and Val, the question was, what is the plan? That was from Quint.
Plan. What?
I think because Terrica they'd gone, they put on the jacket, so they probably like came, sat back down, and then oh wait, where's Val at this point? Is Val in the yacht or not in the yacht?
Not in the yacht, because you hadn't told me what we were going to do about that, but Val is in the lab.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
You told me what we were going to
Then
do
I guess
about your robot friends. Your
they would
killer
figure that
robot
out
friends.
first. I mean, I have a theory. It might be crap. This might not work. Terrica would go and try to find Val to run the idea past him. So when they step into the lab, they'd say, okay, so I have an idea for the robots.
All right.
We put them into hibernation, stuff them into some boxes, and presumably when they're in hibernation, there's a question. They could be contacted and reactivated by somebody else at some point, obviously. So it's a risk. But also, they believe that I'm Marrymore and listen to me for now. So that's useful.
Terrica, you just said that they believe that you are Barrymore. Are you sure that you aren't Marrymore?
So what should we do? You have another idea? A better idea?
You have more intimate knowledge of these things. If you think that they'll listen to you enough to change their status, that's... Now, I'm going out... I know this just from my research for getting ready for Sue, that aren't like... And this is where Greg tries not to implant an idea into Trooper's mind, but I will ask this just because. Whenever I was going through the stuff for the higher levels of the virtual assistant, whenever just so it could not be like taken control of, there are like certain fail safes to keep it sort of in line with the user. Like Sue can't do anything unless, like, I gave Wesley a certain level or code level of stuff. And my point is, Val would know that if Terrica, if they are assumed to be Marrymore, then they would already have that level. But if there's any doubt that they're Marrymore, they might not have that level, and that could react very, very fucking badly.
Sure.
Am I going out on a limb since Val has knowledge of Sue, can Val use that knowledge to kind of superimpose it over these robots without me being like using meta knowledge?
Sure. I will just note this. Val has not seen these robots yet. I'm going to just say something to Greg, but not to Val. Because I like to I'm just saying it so the audience can hear it. Val has a habit and a history of believing that Sue is a virtual assistant, like a computer program and nothing more. And if one assumes that these robots are also just computer programs and nothing more, then everything you say is correct.
Oh, fun. Also really bad. Because Terrica just thinks they're robots.
Okay, so Val has this all going on behind his eyes, because I think it's safe enough that Val could start to make these leaps. Hasn't seen the robots, is not a robotics expert, but does have Sue, and Sue is more than meets the eye. Yeah,
It's a robot in disguise.
Sure, right.
It's a transformer.
Oh my god.
Optimus Prime.
He's gonna kill us all!
Right. Shit. Okay, yeah, so Val would just say, yeah. Okay, but Terrica, that would work, provided they are simply what you believe them to be. If they are one function, guard robots or serving robots, or they have one specific set of uses, but if these are augmented or they have a higher level of AI, we could run into problems doing that. They might ask for a certain command code, or they might view you as differently for asking them to do something that maybe you told them never to do before.
All right, fair points. And they do have an ability to speak psionically and send messages psionically, so fair to assume that they are not just robots.
Right.
Robots should not be able to speak psionically because they're robots, just noting it. At least as far as you could imagine, right? Like, who knows?
Well, now, that's the first that Val's heard that they can do psionic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Terrica
Just
hasn't
want to make sure I
mentioned
didn't miss
it till
anything. Okay.
now. No, yeah.
Then Val would say, if they possess at least a level of psionic ability, then they've probably already vetted you.
So are you trying to say that they're already under my command because they listen to me? They still listen to me.
Did they always listen to you, or did you have to convince them of who you were, or did they just know?
I stood up, told them to stop, and then they started treating me like Marymore.
Could go either way.
Terrica's gonna take a step closer until they're kind of shoulder to shoulder with Val. And then they'll say, well then, we can't take that risk. I'll have them self-destruct.
You might run into the same trouble. That is a life-ending function. Taking a life or taking their own life, I would know that for sure. I read that if you do that, you have to have full command authorization to ask something to do something like that. So Val would say you might even run into more problems if you ask them to self-terminate.
For better or for worse, I already did, and they offered to start the sequence immediately.
Well,
I will note that was self-destructing the base.
The base, true. Yeah, not them. And Terrica is wanting to self-destruct the base and have them in it, so maybe that doesn't destroy them, but we can't know that for sure.
A
Why
light
do you
flashes
want them?
in this lab on the computer, like an alert light starts flashing.
That's new.
And you hear, we have visitors. Shall we begin destruction sequence?
No. These visitors are known to me.
All visitors should be eradicated.
This lab is no longer useful and will be destroyed. And Terrica will stand up.
They're not
shift
in
so
the
that
lab
they're-
with you because the door is still shut, but they're coming in psionically. You can kind of hear it as if it were an intercom, but it's a psionic intercom.
But it's in my. Is it only in Terrica's head, or is it in Terrica and Val's head? How much of
It's
this conversation
only in
is Val
Terrica's head.
hearing? Oh, okay. Then they'll say they are irrelevant. Prepare my shuttle, or no, they won't. They wouldn't say that. They would say they would stop and they'd turn to Val and they'd say, "Do we have everything we need?"
we only have as much. I forget how many packs we could carry out of the mainframe, but it's not the 20 we needed. So
No, It was what,
3 or
5
4?
or 6 from the ship, and then 2 for you and 1 for me. It's like 9.
And you probably shouldn't take the full 6 because you need the computers to be able to function on the ship.
Okay, so 8. And we have the pod, and we have the credits, and we have the ashes, and we have all of the papers, right? From the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Getting out of here with some is better than dying with all of it.
I'd rather not die. They've noticed. Yeah, I'd rather you not die too. They noticed the Harlock and Quint are at the perimeter. They noticed and they want to terminate them. I think we got to get out of here.
Quint, and Severance. Some of the robots, some of those rocks start to stand up, and you can see about 4 or 5 of these stones stand up and
Yeah,
start
we're getting out.
moving
Quint, are you still on
forward.
with Terrica?
Not right now.
I would try.
We should run the other way while we try. And
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Get started.
And then Terrica.
Yes, no, I'm handling them. They're
I will note
wanting to kill you.
before, I just need to note that normally this would be a roll. You would need to roll a telepathy roll, but you do not have to roll a telepathy roll right now because that strange tether
It's awful. I hate it.
is
Yay.
still there.
The robots are
my
waking
good
up.
little
and
tether. Such a good little tether. It's done such a
pleasant
great
brain.
job.
Cord, I don't know if you're here right now.
I am here.
Could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Could you roll your psionic strength and, I don't know, recon?
Oh no.
Yes. One moment. You said my psionic strength and recon?
Yes, please.
Let's try to get the things that... Okay, here we go. Psionic strength. Powers. No, psionic strength.
Go under skills and then do
Skills,
the
recon, and then psionic strength is my drop down. Recon. Psionic strength. Look, I already have it highlighted like I've done this before.
Yes, please. I would appreciate that. Great. So here's the thing. This is how psionics works. You have to roll psionics and telepathy, and you have to spend psionic points in order to make a connection to another psionic person. That's how it works. You don't, there's a thing. But as you see these robots in the distance, these stones, these rocks that sort of start transforming into robots that can like stand up, right? And they start moving forward towards the ridge. They're still quite a distance away. As you're seeing them, you can see, I'm going to say this and I need you to rewrite what I've said to make sense for Severance. You can see these, it occurs to you that there is a tentacle. It could be a golden chain or a belay rope, some kind of tether device that is
Tendril of some
actually
sort.
attached to Quint, that goes from Quint into the mesa and is not attached to the Harlock. But there are more of these tethers, these ropes, tentacles, chains, whatever you can imagine them being, that are sort of coming out. They are sort of just like hands touching and reaching, trying to find something. And you can see there's one that sort of tries to like tap the Harlock and does not find anything interesting there. And then there's one that attaches itself to you. And there's a very small part of you, that would like to attach back, but it also doesn't feel like you that wants to attach back. It doesn't feel like Marymore. It doesn't feel like you. It feels like something, but it's only just a whiff. It's just like a bit of a drug surge, as it were. And I would like, and as this thing attaches to you, I would like to know, in Marymore's brain space, what does a connecting tether look like to you, and what kind of attachment point do you have?
In Marymore's brain space.
Or Severance's, as it were.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Severance's
For
brain
Quint,
space.
it's a belay rope with like a carabiner. In Terrica's space, it is like a thin golden chain.
Yeah.
Something that is going to attach you to someone else, right?
I would
in a
probably
very-
also say a thin golden chain, but it's funny. It's like a coincidence on irony. It's irony because I don't have the necklace on me tonight. I left it somewhere else. But the it has a pendant of like the Drinaxian crest on it. But I think like it is that golden chain, but like in the center or somewhere in it is the weight of that pendant, that weight of the Drinaxian doubloon. As it is, as it sort of like slides around as like the tendril moves, right?
Yeah.
That like the apex or the zenith of the weight of this amulet or this doubloon hisses as well as it slides up and down the lengths of the chain. It's probably a little bit more gaudier than Terrica's gold chain. Because I feel like Terrica's would probably be a little bit more subtle. But I think the long, probably thicker gauge, larger chain links would be, and like obviously like painted, like gold plated, not probably gold, because gold has got still like that dull color to it. But his is like gold plated, painted, not probably artificial. But yeah, I think I'd probably be the tendril.
You can see it attached to you, right? Okay. It's seeking you out, and it finds you, and it attaches to you. And you can see this chain attaching you into something in the mesa, and also attaching Quint to something into the mesa, but not being able to find purchase on the Harlock at all. Mm-hmm. And at this moment, you hear that last bit in your mind that Quint says to Terrica. You are in the group call.
I'm handling it.
Okay. And I'll say out loud to the Harlock, they say they're handling it.
We'll tell them to handle it quickly.
The Harlock requests that you handle it faster, please.
Terrica is already talking with the robots.
Why can I hear you? What is going on?
Whoa.
Severance?
Like a
Severance is there.
Are you okay? You've disappeared before.
Terrica, yes, hi, I'm fine. I'm just in...
Great, 1 second.
Okay.
And Terrica will go back to the rope.
Because all of you are attached, except for the
all...
one person who has not taken the drugs is not tethered into this group call.
Question.
Just noting it. Mm-hmm.
However, since the Harlock is tethered to Val, so would there be... Is it like...
Hey, Trooper, do you remember three-way calling? Where somebody called somebody and that person called another person?
I do.
I made three-way.
I remember it very well.
Right, exactly.
The Harlock, you are connected to Val. You, after all, shared a small Drinaxian child, or something, or oddly.
I don't know if Severance was here for that.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Surprise!
So you are connected. It's always there, and you can always tap into it if you want to. But again, I mentioned to it last time, if you do especially, there is, you are not in on this drug fest that they're on right now, but you can smell it. You know, you can smell it.
Just say no.
You're not in it.
Or say yes.
But you know it's art. It's you know what it's like for our dearest the Harlock. Other people don't know.
Being the DD.
The difference between grass and astroturf. This is all astroturf, right? It's
Ugh.
yeah, like you smell the artificial nature of it, and the kind of
Anyone ever had the
plasticky.
artificial grape flavor?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, think about that.
yeah. But you absolutely no problem can tap in to Val.
I don't
But I
have
guess
to
I'm not.
relay
I'm not
anything.
hearing. I'm not hearing what Val is hearing though.
No, it's a different call. You'd have to,
Okay.
if you wanted to, you'd have to roll. Then you could tap into him at least, that side.
I don't know if I want to hear all this.
Okay,
This is all fake grape flavor.
let's color it like this. Val would probably not allow the Harlock to tap in because Val doesn't understand exactly how psionic drugs could. I mean, the Harlock could be killed by this stuff, and he knows that. So
Right.
Val's gonna act like a breakwater. So when the conversation comes, he's just gonna relay it to the Harlock. So,
Okay, all right.
To be fair, if the Harlock wanted and the Harlock rolled well enough, he may not be able to really help what she does.
right,
Correct.
right. But I mean,
But-
that's what.
But
that's
I think there is an understanding too. I don't think she wants.
Yeah.
Any part
So you're
of
not
that,
going to
really.
just like, so you're not
I
going to have an
agree.
open line from all the dangerous drugs just right into the Harlock psyche. That's a choice. That's fine. I'll just
Right,
note
I'm
it.
gonna keep
the right
breakwater up.
choice. The right
Dangerous
choice.
to non-clones.
And
Wait a minute.
unless
it's a
Val
smart
says
choice.
anything, he's gonna word for
Yeah.
word relate it. I'll
Okay.
edit if I need to.
Yeah.
I'll speak up.
Please do.
Yeah.
So Terrica simply says, "I'm handling it," and then they're gonna swap to the line with the robots, or swap back to the line with the robots, and tell them
Terrica said they're handling it.
and tell them to come back and come back to the base itself.
They just told the robots to come back to the base themselves.
Well, they're not coming back yet.
Our external robots are not authorized to stay within inside. This is a space, a haven for you.
I did not say inside. I said return to the outside.
We are scanning. Number 2, we are scanning.
They're still coming toward us.
That's-
I don't want
And
to.
we're still moving because, or at least Quint is. Quint would be like, I don't
Yes,
fuck around
no.
with this shit. So
I gave you a direct order. Do you need to be eliminated?
There's a pause.
Val's not hearing the other side of that conversation either, correct?
No, but you would just get an image of Val and the Harlock stretching as if preparing for excruciating activity.
Mental
There's a
stretches.
pause. We may not override those. You shall have to relay this yourself to the outer guards. Number 2.
Terrica is going to try and connect with the outer guards.
Interesting. Okay. I need you to make a roll for me.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of roll am I making?
The first one's easy. That one is just
Good.
telepathy using your psionic strength,
Okay.
which is currently at 15. And you get a
Oh,
boon.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I have a boon?
Yeah.
Not
If Terrica, if they're using like hardcore psionics, Val might drop off the call if he can, or really throw his defenses up to make sure nothing creeps through to the Harlock. Assume that's happening at all times.
All right.
and assume cardio's happening over here.
Right. I think also the Harlock will put into Val. I understand you have access to a ship. We can meet you, but we don't have to stay here.
I'm not really sure what's going on. We are working through some things. Please hold.
Could
I'm
I
try-
get another roll from you,
okay.
Terrica?
Okay.
This should be, let's see. Tricky. Exactly how to model this roll. Well, let me ask you this question. What do you think is the most Terrica out of all of their skills? Diplomacy?
Out of all their psionic skills? Oh, all of their
No.
skills?
All of their skills.
I mean, I think it's piloting, really. Like,
Piloting?
they do diplomacy. They know diplomacy, but
Yep.
piloting.
But
Okay.
Terrica, yeah.
I'm going to need you to make your original psionic score. Original, was it 3, I believe?
Yeah.
Could you make a piloting roll based off of your original pre-Marymore psionic skill? But you do get that 1 bonus, because it was originally a 2, but you do get the bonus from the Drinaxian brooch, because it does help you out. I would like you to make that roll, and I would like you to make that for me at a Bane.
Okay. So when you say at their original 3, does that mean I'm adding a negative to my...
Just redo, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, just redo that. Just put your psionic strength from 15 back down to 3.
Okay, perfect.
That'll make it easy.
Ah, you have to roll with one of me.
Let's see. Okay, so it's a
This
negative
is about
1.
this is about your core self at this moment. You know
So
Why
no
am
pressure.
I so nervous?
No
who
pressure.
you are.
Okay. This is totally fine. Wait, so pilot, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Pilot add a Bane with
Psionic strength?
With psionic strength.
Of 3. Normally it would be a 2, but you do get to have your Drinaxian Viridian help you out, your brooch.
Excellent. This is fine, guys. Knock on wood. Okay. And psionic strength. Here we go.
4.
Woof.
Awesome.
Trooper, I'd like to ask a quick question. If something
Absolutely.
could be happening during all that, the call would have gone out to the Harlock. Are you in contact with Sue?
Not directly in this moment, but we have been.
Can you patch me through?
Well, I suppose I can try.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Sue on site ASAFP.
So I also want to spend 4 of my luck on this thing. I'm going to drop 4 luck onto this.
It's not going to be good enough, but that's okay.
All right.
It'll be less bad though.
Let's do 6 luck. That may be the most I've ever dropped in a sitting.
Okay.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Could you say what you say to the robots as absolutely your voice goes out across this space to connect with them?
Stand down and return to dormancy.
Cord, could you repeat that line in Severance's voice?
Stand down and return to dormancy.
Marymore's voice is what those robots hear, coming from the mind of Terrica, I guess. And the robots hear the voice of the ancient. Not a pretend, I suppose, but just one step closer to it. And as the voice of this ancient psionic comes out across the space,
It's not gonna work.
the robots stop and they turn back and they begin to go back to their original positions. A very convincing command indeed. These psionically aware robots who have been trained to recognize true essences hear the voice of this warlord. And they follow the orders.
Fuck.
And they
I
stand
just wanted
down.
to command robots.
And you did.
Question. Since that's blasted out, does everyone else on the other call hear it? Would they hear that that's the voice that comes out?
You don't hear it at all. It was expertly done. There was a... that roll, that psionics roll was a 13. It was very well done. With precision and expertise. A level of finesse in psionic power that was able to just target the robot specifically. A level of experience and expertise that, well... I mean, Terrica hasn't really shown that before, but that's what happened.
It's
So
fine.
soon
So Terrica-
our entire crew is going to be Marymore. That's what I'm to understand.
Just wait. There's 3 other labs that we need to find, and that's our goal. Like, once we find all 3 labs, then the 5 of us as clones can go and destroy Marymore.
No. Then when our powers combine,
Yes,
Make
there
a
we
mega
go.
Marymore.
mega more.
A Mary Zord.
I think Terrica just does return to the call, though, and they say, it's handled, but don't come closer.
We'll meet you back at the port.
I don't know what's happening.
What? Wait, what are they saying? What's going on?
Terrica says it's handled, but don't come any closer.
And psionically, you would hear, "Please hold."
I got it.
Why are we here then? Can we go back to the ship then? Why don't we be standing here by these
That's
robots?
what I
It's uncomfortable
asked.
over here.
We can pick you
The
up.
ship. To the ship. We're going to the ship.
We
Is
can
there
pick
enough-
you up and get you there faster. And
Sounds
Terrica
like you
goes,
guys
I
are
have a
busy."
ship. And then you just see, like,
Oh, God.
the Elaine in your minds with all of its glory, like... And then the specks of the Elaine start scrolling by, like,
Where's
just
the
as
Elaine?
you
Because I'm picturing
I'm gonna
Seinfeld.
show you.
Four-seater.
Who's
We have
Elaine? Are we going back or
5.
not?
She has one landing gear. It's actually Eileen.
Anybody wants to see it? There is this lovely, amazing yacht. It's beautiful.
Harlock is not seeing this, by the way.
Oh, it's
Are we going? Quint, are we going back or what?
Okay.
Terrica says they'll pick us up, but I think that's a 4-seater and there's 5 of us. So either some laps are going to have to be showed, or we can just meet.
Just put Severance
Back.
on your back again.
Nope.
Severance, please roll a luck roll, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm. As the luckiest out of all of us, I will give you my luck. Hiya.
Oh
enough.
shit!
Um,
That's a crit.
just- that's a crit.
Nice.
You are lucky. You are lucky.
That's
As the
great.
robots begin to move and go back,
certain.
one of them almost, they still have their scans up. One of them almost scans you.
This is
Severance.
why.
Almost. But it moves back away right before its scans read you. So they do not pick up a conflict of leadership.
Right?
But Severance, you recognize these robots. You recognize them.
Is this a familiar feeling, a physical feeling, or I'd recognize them actually?
It's like a quick flash of a memory of you building them.
Oh.
It's just like a quick, brief moment of you, like in the lab, building them. And you look like you, of course, but stylized.
You mean me? All
Oh,
right.
that's unclear.
Perfect. Okay. Sort of stop for a moment. And then there's a shuttle coming towards us?
No, we haven't started flying yet.
Okay.
gotta like set the base to self-destruct. There's stuff you gotta
Yeah,
do.
we have a checklist to get done over here. Some violence. It's fine.
If someone could just send me that checklist, I would be much more comfortable with what's happening.
Will you pick them up in the Elaine?
Yes, but Terrica has a question for Val before we pick them up.
Val will light a cigarette since it looks like we're almost out.
Oh, by the way,
I got-
Val, because Greg wasn't here when this happened, Terrica changed their clothing and is now wearing a white, sort of military-style jacket.
Val screams imposter and shoots them.
No, they physically changed the clothing, just changed it.
As they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'll just know everybody here, Val, Severance, and Terrica knows, well, actually also the Harlock, because the Harlock has spent time on Drinax, that white and gold are mourning colors in Drinaxian culture.
Val will put a pin in that then and not bring it up at this moment since we're in an enemy base surrounded by potentially killer robots.
With lots of after we
My robe used to be white, and then it turned red.
Yeah, it's true.
blood.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh.
His
and
outfit
you
used to
have
be
a
white.
gold shirt on. Interesting.
And he usually wears the gold chain.
Ooh, I
know. I love it too.
Arya is very curious.
Terrica, is there a hole in the roof of this base? Like a
thing for us to be able to exit out of the hangar in some way?
yeah.
It's not an up, it's an out.
There is one.
Yeah, the mace is going to open up. It's not up, but it's like a garage door.
Val would get his whatever the latitude and longitude is of this particular installation as soon as he gets a chance, because Quint, for the first time ever, Quint was correct, and that there aren't as many seats in the Elaine or whatever the hell this thing's called. So I'm gonna fly.
Wait, Val is. I don't know if Terrica would. I mean, Terrica would let Val co-pilot, but they would want to fly.
just right
This
over
has
the
to be a
ridge.
conversation.
Oh no! I'm not flying in the ship.
Oh,
In the suit.
in this. Wait, I thought the suit was with. I thought you
The
didn't have
suit's
the
way
suit
back
with you.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if the Harlock can patch me through, can I get the suit to come to me?
You'd have to wait a
Do
while,
you
yeah.
want to bring the suit through the enemy robot turrets? That I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's what I'm gonna toss out.
You know, I can walk. It's fine. It's fine.
Honestly, yeah.
I'll wait till we
Leave
get
it
in the house.
lapse.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean,
And the suit orbital will drop because that's something that needs to happen.
right.
I mean, I
Hot
hope
drop
so.
Sue and Val from orbit. That'd be so
I
sweet.
will just note that it will not be
can only go
difficult for you to have the robots go into one room and have Val come in and then have them set the base off to explode. That's fairly easily done. You just, because you have like multiple spaces, you can tell them where to be, move them in.
I think
So I
that's
could-
exactly. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I bring the suit in, or is it gonna get shot down? Like, I didn't realize that there were fucking turrets around the place.
Yeah.
There are.
No,
There's
that's what we're
turrets.
aiming
There's
at.
super
there's outside big robots. There's
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
It is-
Big evil
it is
robots that were
So
were
much
like,
for fun.
well, you can have fun. Like
It'll just be a
I
little
was
more
Just don't get the
you
suit
can
afterwards.
do it. I was just looking out for our best interests, Greg. Let's be real, our best interests.
however, yeah.
So Terrica would tell them to do that psionically, get everything in the, like as soon as they're all in the ship, powering up, and we're like getting ready to lift off. And after there's that moment of just like, as the engines power up and Terrica
Number
can
2.
feel like yes.
Shall we begin the self-destruct sequence now?
Remind me, Once it begins, what is the countdown?
Whenever you get out of range.
Thank you. Begin self-destruct.
It has been a pleasure to serve you, number 2.
I know. And
It has
Terrica
been
will
an honor.
snap off
Death.
communication.
As you snap off communication.
Then Terrica will turn to Val, who I assume is wait, where is
co-piloting?
Val? Somewhere co-piloting?
He seems irritated for no reason whatsoever.
Hey, you can absolutely bring Sue through the kill box of turrets. I'm happy with that.
Terrica would love that too, but that's a whole other question. Anyway, no, as we're like lifting off and the ship is navigating out of that and shooting up into the mesa, Terrica will.
The mesa has got, so there's a hangar. There's a big hangar there. The hangar has space for 2 different ships. There's only 1 ship in there. You've downloaded 8 packets of data out of 20, and my crew on the outside. Are you looking at the mesa?
We were running away moments
I'm
ago.
running. No.
Okay.
Cool people don't look at explosions behind them.
That's fair. The mesa itself ripples open as if it were like nanites or some sort of like. It's the difference between like Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 when you get that really cool technology, everything becomes like liquid rock, just opens up. It's the sort of level of technology that you have never seen as it opens up, giving you the space to fly out.
And once they clear the door, Terrica will say, Val, I have a serious question for you.
Sure.
Did you kill that pirate by lighting it on fire?
No. But I did kill it.
Why?
Because they were on our ship. They could have hurt you. They could have hurt Wesley. They could have hurt anybody. I'm not letting that happen.
Were they threatening you?
They were on our ship.
There's a difference.
Is there? That's our land. I didn't force them on it. They made the choice. They sort of lived with it for a little bit. Why does that concern you?
Life is precious, Val.
It sure is. Some more so than others. It's certainly
don't-
not equal, Terrica. Not in this universe.
It should be.
That is a wonderful dream.
Terrica, as you say that all life should be equal, you hear the explosion, and you feel the death of 2 very close companions, and then 20 less close companions.
Oh, God.
Terrica, what's going on?
Some-
I'm assuming
somebody-
Val didn't feel any of that, right?
No, Val's not silently connected to the robots that they created. Severance, you also feel the death of 22 beings as this explosion sort of this is like deep explosion hits, and you feel the loss of 22 beings that you built with your own hands.
Terrica?
God,
Obviously, he starts running diagnostics. He starts pulling up their
And if you
medical
could make a
implant.
piloting check at a Bane, please, Terrica.
yep, that sounds about right.
You're still money. You're still money at this. So
It's small craft, right? Or is
I
this
believe in
space?
them.
This is spacecraft, actually.
This is spacecraft, yeah. Because it's not a small craft.
Okay. Oh wait, I'm at a Bane?
Yes, you
Or
are.
I'm at a Bane. Okay.
Because you're in a bit of a distress at the moment.
A
Your piloting is
little
not-
bit of.
can I
not
help?
just
Oh yeah, he's my co-pilot.
We all
No,
know
but
that
you can
I
take
roll
over.
piloting real well.
but you can take over.
Okay, so this is a result of whatever this roll is. I believe
Yeah.
in Terrica.
Yep.
Thank you. Knock on wood.
Ari, I do not believe in you, but I believe in Terrica.
You shouldn't believe in me. You know what kind of person I am.
No.
So here's the thing about that. If you were in space, that would be fine. It would be an 8, because that's your difficulty. However, you are in atmosphere, which is a -2, so you miss it by 2.
Yeah.
Can I
Either
grab the
Val can
controls
take
then?
over, or you can spin luck.
Hey, I'm gonna roll a dice on this. Actually, evens. Evens. Val takes over. Odds. Terrica spends luck.
If Greg gets a vote, I'm hoping for odds. There we go.
Well, good news. The dice listen to you. This is a lot of luck I've spent very early in the session. I'm not nervous at all. It's fine. I'm nervous.
The ship shudders, and Val, you're like about to go get those controls, but Terrica keeps it together and does not crash you all into.
Trooper, if I can interject,
Please.
Val never reaches for the controls.
Oh, very nice.
Val never makes a move because Val knows that they're going to take care of it. Val
And-
never looks concerned.
Excellent. I like to know that you have so much faith. That's good for later. Severance, how do you behave? How do you respond to this death?
To the many deaths?
Yeah.
I think he stops for a moment. There's a lot of confusion. His eyes sort of stop. They widen. And then there is just a look of confusion. I don't know if he expresses it to anybody else. Or maybe he does. I think he goes...
I think Harlock would notice.
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
noticing all of the time. Like, I think when he stops, like, would
Yeah.
keep going but stop and then go back. Severance, what's wrong? Are you having another
No.
vision? What do you see?
No. You feel that? You feel that? It's...
I don't feel
And you
like we...
all hear the huge explosion, like a dull thud, right? This.
I sort of like stop during the explosion.
I think Harlock would start to like grab his arm and like try like as if he's having trouble walking. Be like, we have to move. Come on.
He sort of locks eyes with you. What? You don't feel that?
I just come on. We need to go.
And he begins to then put one foot in front of the other and tries to hack it away for now. But there is a moment of just sort of this pained confusion.
I could carry you again if you need.
It won't
Still
be
have the-
necessary.
Still could tie you on. Okay.
No, I could walk.
And as you make it out of the base, we're going to take our 10-minute break. Yes.
Oh
Everybody,
God.
Woo.
Stretch your
murdered
legs.
them.
You did murder them, but it's okay. They're just robots with psionic consciences. With conscience. So anyway, I will just note, if you did not know before, Severance and also Terrica, you know now. Sue is alive.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
No,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
This is changing things.
Yeah. And so, it is going to be this moment where we take our break. We're going to stretch our legs. We're going to drink some water. And when we get back, we will have our crew back up. You can meet up at the starport where you like. We will get you there. And you have 2 ships to get back to. You'll have
The
really no
TkTk
problem with that at all.
The TkTk starport or the
TkTks don't have a starport.
That's what I
No,
thought.
but
So
this
the-
planet
starport,
TkTk.
yes. The planetary downport. We will
Yeah.
meet there as you arrive back together at the downport to deal with all of that.
Oh.
Also, we can't meet at a different downport because you have to see what happened to the gambler. All right, everybody, we'll be right back in 10 minutes and take care of yourselves and
What does that mean?
stretch your legs.
Don't run,
Actually-
Greg.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back, and it is exciting. So, when last we left our crew, there was some murder of robots.
I'm so sorry.
I believe this was at the moment when Terrica was saying that all lives should be thought of as equally valuable. I believe that was the moment when the 22 robots were murdered. Just catching us back up with where we were at.
Yeah, the ones that Terrica did not let them say their final words because they snapped off
Yeah.
the transmission halfway through.
Yeah.
Those robots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
those ones.
Oh, I'm just making sure I'm tracking.
Yeah, that's
Here.
the one.
Perfect.
That's the
I
one.
think we should stop calling them robots and start calling them life forms.
Yes,
That's an
we
excellent
probably
point.
should.
We really should.
A robot can be a life form.
Yeah,
I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. Whoever is listening.
Yeah.
Alexa?
Yes. What can I do for you? Everybody's not listening with headphones. All of their devices just turned on.
You're welcome.
I just
Thank
triggered
you.
them all.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey Siri.
Just to make sure we're
So-
getting the full range. Okay, Google.
Full range. So it's not actually difficult for you to sort of meet back, get yourself, pick them up in the yacht, bring them over to where the stealth ship is, have the 2 groups come back to the starport, the downport. That is not going to be difficult. I'm going to assume you all want to meet up over there at the downport, where the gambler is.
It'd be really good to see it again.
Yes.
Great.
Sure would.
And just with just the way you left it.
You're gonna love
Great.
it.
Yes, you
But
are.
it actually...
I feel like it's really important to do something like this. So, as you are being escorted by the stealth ship, I believe we've got, please correct me if I'm wrong, Val and Terrica in the yacht, and the Sue and
Is the Elaine the
other
yacht?
3.
Is the Elaine the yacht?
The
Yes.
Elaine is the yacht.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's got... That is one of Terrica's middle names. So
Yeah.
let that
Yacht?
one just
That's
fester.
a weird name.
Yacht.
I know,
Yes.
right? Who would have that?
Erica Yacht.
Terrica, Yacht, Elaine, Lee, Reppenhausen.
Perfect.
It's a very long title.
It is. So, as these two ships are flying across the planet of TkTk towards the downport that they recommend people flying to, are two groups of people in two different ships on their way back to this place. And I want to just because some people have seen this place, but some people teleported in and so did not get to see it. So, want to just get the kind of the vibe here. Hold on, I need to make sure that I've set this up because I want to make it grand enough. I don't want it to not be grand enough. Great. I think we should be able to get this from here. Great. Okay, hold on. I wanted to make sure I had the right source up, but it should be this one.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
Great. So good. So as you fly towards the downport of TkTk, you see it over the horizon. There, a town with concrete walls and small concrete bunkers with batteries of missiles on the side and concertina wire and an actual door with a gate and the starport. A patch of land made of asphalt
Yeah.
with some lines drawn on it in paint that is flecking away. And also...
We've literally just landing in Woodstock 99.
And there are houses made out of, it looks like, corrugated steel, but they're very well sealed. There are, like, jeeps. Actual jeeps. Also, there are people with just rebreathers everywhere because this atmosphere is toxic, so you cannot be running around in it without rebreathers on. And there's like a tumbleweed that just sort of moves by in the foreground. And there are a couple of ships, including the Gambler, that are there. There are a couple of ships. And there's like a hangar, which is clearly where you would go in. They've got like the repairs. You can see they actually have actual like tanker trucks with hoses to actually refuel the Starcraft. Very old school, unrefined fuel, and people with wrenches. You can. It's not really technologically advanced in any way. And most ships could not even land down here because, yeah. So as you fly in and land,
How gracefully was our landing?
I need some rolls for that.
Okay. I'm in the scout ship. I know that much. There we go.
Okay.
Please roll it for me.
Okay. Pilot small craft. Here we go. Character sheet. Booyah. Cool. Make sure I figured out that. Okay, yeah, normal. Cool.
Whoa.
That's very good. Great. Awesome. So, our two ships land. Some people already have a berth and they're not going to be contacted on the radio. Other people will be contacted on the radio. And, Terrica, you have a ship. And you're going to get this, like, crackling in on your radio, being like, welcome to the downport at TkTk. If you'll just take the third spot, it's got a big H on it, just land there. We see that you are the Elaine. just we're going to come over in person to get your documents. Please be prepared for your standard checks.
Okay.
Captain of the Elaine.
I'm the pilot. The captain is, and Terrica just glances at Val before they say, Valentine Morrissey.
We'll check the paperwork when we get there. And you didn't get to meet them, but there is the official docking people to do all their official docking stuff do arrive. There are 2 of them. They're in overalls. They have paper and a clipboard with actual paper and a pen.
Paper? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Paper.
And this Varger woman is like, all right, do you have, can I get, she pulls out like a little thumb drive. Can I get your flight manifest?
Yes. And because Terrica did find this, didn't they? I feel like I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
it at one point.
But normally this is just done by Bluetooth. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a beam.
You don't need to like hook any, like where do I even hook this into the yacht?
Trooper, I would like to bribe them and get past this. So can I just give them like what's a good bribe? Like 100? For this place, I'd say 100.
In this place?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So
yeah.
Val's
Yeah.
done with all this horse
Yeah.
shit. Like across the board, the horse shit is done with Val. So Val is going to throw 200 at them and say thank you for the spot.
okay. And they just walk out. They just take the 200 credits and just walk out. Just like that. They just
And
go.
then Val immediately turns to Terrica and goes, what kind of asshole would pretend to be a captain? Let's just get out of here.
Terrica's like, I'm not gonna lie. All right.
My dear friends, the crew has arrived together. Here on this lonely, dusty, sad landing strip, I'm going to need no one but Terrica to make a recon roll. An intelligence recon roll. Nobody else needs to make this roll. Just Terrica.
Well, good news. My recon's at a negative.
With a boon.
Oh. Okay. Where is I had it a second ago.
Oh, you know what, though? I'm going to make an exception for you. You can make it off of pilot, if you like, as an exception. If you'd like, you know.
No, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this off of recon.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Let the dice decide.
Oh, all right. So, you all arrive back on the downport. There's a lot of hustle bustle. People are drinking. People are having a good time. There's so much going on that, Terrica, you do not notice the huge new dent in the Gambler when you come back to the ship. At least not yet.
I imagine I'm gonna see. Cool. That's good. That's real good. Would you let me know the first time that Terrica sees Sue, though?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Well, here you are on the pad, all of you coming out, right? The stealth is going to be attached to the clamp. People are coming out. So on this landing pad, we have the Elaine and we have our 2 Tagonists over here coming in towards the Gambler, and which the injured side is not on the side where you 2 are showing up. That's probably one of the reasons why you didn't notice it. And coming out of the stealth ship is now Severance, the Harlock, Quint, and the Suit. And they're all sort of there. Everybody's on the tarmac together.
The Suit's here. Then the last thing I'll say is Val walks up towards the Suit as the Suit matches his speed, and literally the back opens up and he steps into the Suit and pulls in as the back seals up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I hastily make my way toward Terrica. Terrica, you're all right.
Yes.
Yes, good. Yes.
I'm fine. I'm good. How are you?
All right, I guess apparently I was knocked unconscious and taken as a hostage. But you probably know that.
I didn't. That's. Are you okay? Is your head? Has Val looked at you? And they like cast a look toward the suit for a second, and then they focus back on Severance.
I think I'm all right. I'm glad you are. You disappeared.
Yeah,
You ended up here.
yeah, I teleported.
Teleported, yes. You teleported in jump space.
Yes.
Within jump space.
I lean over to the Harlock and go, "Are you not supposed to be able to teleport in jump space?"
The Harlock leans back. You can't.
Okay.
Quinn. So, you remember how I was telling you about the laboratory and all the clones? We'll want to be delicate about this, but Terrica, when they teleported away, their body wouldn't have survived that.
So Terrica's a clone now.
Well, presumably, as far as we know, it's the same, it's kind of similar situation with Severance, where they'd, the being
the mind
within,
body swap.
yes,
Sure.
yes, but there's, well, realistically, I don't know if we've really had that conversation yet, but
Right.
Anyway, I would be delicate about bringing it up.
Appreciate it. We both just go back to standing with our arms crossed.
You realize that has not been possible,
Yeah,
or has it ever been documented as a possibility?
right. Actually, I have some questions for you about
Right?
things and stuff. And Terrica will like take a step in and in the lowest possible voice say, "And clones."
I will answer what I can. Why? Are you a clone?
I think so.
Right? Welcome to the club.
Can the rest of us hear?
You're
we're
on the tarmac
standing
together.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Terrica, was that loud enough? Like, I mean, I know it was lowered, but loud enough that somebody possibly could hear.
Yeah, I think probably you guys are close enough that you would have heard that, or at least like no, you have the gist of it.
I do think that the Harlock would kind of, once the pauses ended, would kind of step in toward Terrica. Terrica, if I may, what's the last thing you remember?
Handing the drugs to Val.
On the ship. Well, if it's any consolation, it's likely that you are not a clone. You're just in the body of a clone. It is different. Much like our Severance is in the body of a heinous war criminal.
Thank you for making the differentiation. Also, I am a clone who happens to be in a different body.
Yes.
You happen to be, from what, as far as you know, a prime in a clone's body.
Maybe. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we have no real, it's just really sense of what you know, and if you know what, yeah, it all could be convoluted into.
Continuity is, so long as that's there, it would be.
Yes. Right. Well, the good news is most drugs won't affect you Oh, wait, never mind. That's not true. You're not a clone. Never mind. They'll still probably affect you.
What?
Is that good
Unless-
news or bad news?
It was, it's information.
So, and then Terrica will turn toward where Val is and say, "That's why you wanted the pod."
He wouldn't say anything.
Everybody who's not Terrica, please make a psionic strength based recon roll. Not Val. Well, Val can. You can as well.
I'm everyone who's not Terrica.
And just
6
you.
Quint.
Yeah.
Recon Psionics, you say?
Yes. Oh, I forgot.
Perfect.
Also, everybody who's not... everybody gets a boon on that one.
Oh.
What
I
are we
will.
rolling?
I
I thought you said psionic strength.
Psionic strength recon.
Recon
can
psionic
check things
strength.
out, but psionic strength in the psionic world.
Perfect. This same roll.
7.
That's a 13.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. La-di-da,
Eyes on
everybody.
you.
Not the Harlock. I'll give you a different answer. So, Val, Terrica seems completely normal to you. I would just like to point that out. Everybody who's not the Harlock and also not Val, Terrica seems different a little bit. Seems taller, more attractive, bolder, more assured, more powerful. They seem just like there's an aura around them. Sort of like a psionic aura of strength and power and assurance and experience. There's just something big about them. It's sort of like you could imagine like a slightly, like a glow about them. The Harlock, they are on drugs. They are on psionic drugs, and those psionic drugs are blindingly apparent to you. Like they are just like leeching psionic power off of their body, and it smells like astroturf. That said, because you rolled so well, you rolled quite well enough, I'm going to give you a little bit more information. Something else is happening. There is like you have known Terrica's vibe for a while. Terrica is stronger psionically in a way that is not the drugs, but there's also the drugs, and those drugs are just
A lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot. It's an amount of power that like nobody has, right? This is a level of power that is distressingly high. And you can just see that they are connected to everybody else in this group, but not you. Let me rephrase it. Everyone else who has had a contact high with those drugs, they are psionically connected to them. You can see that the connection is only going one way. If those people took psionic drugs, that connection would probably be 2 ways. And what you can see is that Terrica is sort of feeding them a little bit. Like this connection is like it's like an umbilical cord in a way, right? That it's sort of connecting. Yes, it's like an umbilical cord. It's sort of
I don't like
spreading
that.
some. I know you don't like it. It's very Cronenberg, really. It's just sort of like sharing a psionic strength, but you can also tell that the connection is not finished because they have not taken the drugs. You can tell that, like, little bits. It's like a little perfume level of drug on them is trying to connect to this sort of umbilical cord coming out of Terrica. The actual Terrica has more power than they did before, but right now this is just like some Cronenberg existence umbilical cord, massive psionic power, just like everywhere. It is loud. It is it is, you're seeing it in person, and it is a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah, I imagine in the way that everyone else has seen what these tendrils look like, that is probably what it looks like to the Harlock. Like these fleshy tubes that are really just like upsetting. Don't belong on the outside of a body. And just like latched on with like the ends of them have like the little like you see in a horror movie with the worms with the mouth with all the teeth on the inside.
Yeah.
Just, like a leech in a way.
Yeah, like an osprey. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what we would be seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. But nobody else sees that, but you see it. Like, I'm just going to point out that this is one of those things where, like, this is...
Can't unsee it.
Yeah. And also, this is the drugs. And you suspect anybody who takes these drugs will be this powerful and disconnected to anybody else who takes those drugs. And somebody was smuggling 10 doses of those drugs to Assis to be picked up.
Or used.
Do we know if they were to be picked up or if there's, I don't know, 10 real powerful and or rich people on Assis?
I mean, there are rich people on Assis, but
like super illegal cyanic drugs rich.
How much you could not even imagine how much these drugs would sell for. This does not, whoever made this is something. You're Zodani, you know what kind of drugs are out there, and this is not anything like anything you've seen.
Okay.
Normally your cyanic drugs give you a boost for depending on an hour maybe, and it's been over an hour. These drugs are still here, so actually it's been a week. You don't know when they took the drugs actually, but the max these drugs are going to last for 24 hours. The ones that you know of, max the drugs that you know of, they last maybe 24 hours. You don't know how long it's been since they took these drugs, but it's certainly been more than an hour. And it's been a while. And what you know of is that really strong cyanic drugs might give you cravings, addiction problems. They can burn you out psionically. They're great for the short term, not great for the long term, but this is even more powerful than you can imagine. You don't know what these drugs will do.
Okay.
But it's
Very
loud.
good.
It's just
even louder. The ship is going to be even louder. Fabulous. Here.
Yeah.
Just got some of this here. Let's just...
Hey! And you can hear your scout friend, Stevie, coming up to our Quint. That was an amazing landing. That was amazing. You have got skills, girl. So, are you ready for that drink? I'm gonna invite everybody. Nice ship.
Thanks. Just give us a moment.
Is it on TkTk?
You're at the tarmac.
Yeah. I thought that was on SC. Said this person was okay.
No, the
No,
scout's
that
over
was
here.
here.
Yeah, the scout is here.
That was here.
Bad news bears.
Yeah.
For
I
a
did
lot of
not
reasons.
Make that luck check. Is it alright if I... Basically, it's looks to the Harlock and just be like, have a couple drinks, come back, basically be like, I will let you all have a conversation and lead these scouts away, because I'm sensing this is a thing. That's what Quint's doing, basically.
And this woman who's older, sort of gray, sort of frizzy hair, looks to be maybe 50s. That kind of heavy setness you get when you're in your 50s. It's how your bodies do. And in a sort of a scout uniform, but a little bit little open, a little bit relaxed. And she smiles. She's like, drinks on me. I've got to say, this one here is, we don't know each other very well, but any friends of a scout is a friend of mine.
Terrica, as soon as she says any friend of a scout is a friend of mine, Terrica will like try and pick up the psionic phone to talk to Quint.
And we don't have to make rolls apparently for that right now, so you do. It's just there. Whoop.
And they will simply say, "Are you okay? Is this okay?"
They've already seen me. It's fine. I was going to see if they know anything. I also promised Corinne a bottle of something, because she's been keeping an eye on the professor while we've been landing here, instead of getting shore leave. I don't want them poking around into you all, though, because I feel like y'all don't want them poking around, so I could distract.
If you need help, just let me know.
Alright. I think I can handle it. Let me know if you need anything. They're only a long-term survey. They've been here for about 2 years or so. They're probably going to be here for another 2.
I'd be curious if they've heard about any other labs in the area. I doubt it, but maybe.
Well, they're doing survey work. If anyone would know, it'd be them. I'll see what I can do.
Thanks.
Glad you're back safe. You should check out the bridge.
The bridge?
Mhm.
Okay. I will.
Make sure Wesley's there when you do.
Okay. Is he okay?
Last I checked.
Okay.
He'll be thrilled that you're there.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's good news.
We watched a lot of Crash Jones this past week. That's like as Quint starts to walk away with the scout, kind of like doing the a little busy and like put my arm around him, like, but I'm free now, kind of thing. Yeah.
As Quint leaves with this scout, and just to remind all the rest of the crew, Quint faked their death back over there on Thebes, and so Quint is not officially alive anymore. The scouts all think that Quint is dead, theoretically. Just to remind our crew who do know this, that Quint faked their death on Thebes. But this
News doesn't get to TkTk very often.
News does not get to TkTk very often. It is really out of the way. And again, communications is very slow in this space, and nobody comes here. So these people who've been here for a while clearly do not know yet that Quint has faked their death, but Quint is officially dead. They just don't know it. Just wanted to remind you all that.
Thank you for
Just
the
like
heads
all
up.
of us.
Totally normal to be dead.
Yep.
It's a new thing.
It's official.
When you want out of the Imperial Navy, sometimes, or scouts, you just fake your death and
just
blame
gotta
the
do
loss
it.
of the ship on your coworker. It's fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
As Quint walks off with Stevie, scout leader, the rest of the crew come onto the Gambler, into the hold, with the grebes waiting there. It's a lovely place. And I imagine, you could stay the entire week here on TkTk. You've seen the sights. It's, that's it. But when you arrive, the first thing that happens as you sort of come into the hold is that Wesley comes out from the engineering and goes, Terrica, you're back. I'm
Terrica
glad.
will just like run straight to him and give him the biggest like hug in the world.
And he gives them.
He can
this
say
big
whatever
hug
he wants
back.
as they're doing that. That's totally.
And like you kind of can't really understand what he's saying because it's like all muffled. We're really worried about you.
Oh, you're okay. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. You're you look great. You're.
You're
I'm
not
supposed to
allowed on the
see the
bridge until
What?
You're not allowed on the bridge until Quint gets back. Because
Quint just told me to. Told. What happened? Is the bridge okay?
you're not allowed to see it until Quint's here. That's at least that's. Was it changed?
Well, Quint told me that. Did you and Quint do something to the bridge?
No,
You can tell me, Wesley. You
No.
can tell me.
no.
The
Maybe.
Harlock looks at Val also.
This is the work, right? This is
Yeah,
the.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Val would just shrug his robotic shoulders.
Am I loud? I mean, I don't think Terrica should see the bridge without Quint here after,
Val would turn to Terrica. Just wait for Quint.
All right. I'll wait for Quint.
There's plenty of other things to see.
Unless,
yeah.
unless, it,
Yeah, like all of
unless it is
starboard.
okay.
No,
Oh.
we'll wait for Quint.
Wait, does Terrica know about the damage?
What damage? What damage, Wesley? What got damaged?
Oh,
You might as well just tell me now. It's easier if you tell me.
this,
But Wesley've already brought it up.
the hull got damaged when we were landing. It was not really easy to do it without you.
Terrica leaves to go look at the hole.
No, just wait.
I imagine you from waiting to hear, oh my god.
Val goes over to Wesley in the suit, leans over and makes sure that the servo's like, and looks in that holographic faceplate that changes and just says, "Thanks, buddy," and walks off.
But no, I thought that they.
Who the fuck ripped
Oh.
all the way through my ship?
Oh, they didn't know already. Okay.
Who? Who
What?
was it, Wesley? Who was it? You can tell me.
It was me. It was me.
No. Thank you, Val. It was me. I did it.
No, it was
This
me.
isn't
I
a
did it.
Spartacus moment. No, everybody stop. I was
No,
flying. I crashed it.
I was flying. I was told to.
It was
pilot
Val.
and-
Val
Wesley-
did it. I had nothing to do with any of this.
Believe the Harlock.
You did that?
It was Val. Yeah. All right, tried.
Yeah,
No.
it was Val.
I tried my best, but I don't know if I've ever done an in-atmo landing outside of a simulator. Apologies.
We can fix it.
She will still fly.
We'll
I think
fix
the
it.
Harlock, the Harlock will lean over to Severance and Leslie. Val is the only one who can survive this.
It's true.
Terrica, you know what? I changed my mind. I feel like you should see the bridge now. Yep, let's
Nope.
go. Yes, no, we
Wesley.
should definitely see the bridge now.
Wesley.
What?
You've done enough, buddy. Let's not double down and throw good money after bad. All right? Just
If it makes you feel better, Terrica, I did make sure to power up the holographic hull.
Oh, no, yeah, I saw that. Yep. The drain in power? No. Yeah,
well,
saw
I
that.
but
figured
nobody-
it was.
Nobody knows we have the stealth ship because the
Helpful.
holographic hull. Just. I'm gonna go up to the bridge.
You're going to pay to fix it.
Me?
Val says that, or Terrica says that to Val.
Oh,
I am not. I mean, it's going to come out as a group
Damaged
funds.
it. You damaged it.
It's not my job. I'm wearing two hats here.
Pilot and medic, so that is your excuse is, oops, I didn't have
Apparently,
the right hat
I
on?
get 3 hats now as a scapegoat seems to be the next one that I get to put on.
Well, that's
you
not.
like
I
the
was going to
scapegoat
wear
hat?
the scapegoat hat, but then you wanted to take it.
You can just stay out of this, right?
All right, all right.
oh, okay. Just gonna go back to be on the bridge. Don't fight.
Val steps out of the suit. The back opens up and he steps out, so the back closes, and he just turns to Sue and goes, "Just go back to the room for a second. I think I'm all right."
And Sue
I think I'll be okay.
stops for a moment, and then you see the hologram of Sue pop up outside of the suit, and Sue looks much younger than before, young and handsome, like a young, handsome Johnny Cash. And he goes, Do I know you?
Terrica
To
looks at Val
Terrica.
and says, Terrica looks at Val and says, one moment. And then they're going to try and connect with Sue psionically, the being that they now know exists.
Roll your
Oh
psionic
yeah, I'm gonna
strength.
stop that. I'm in proximity now. That last shit happened when I wasn't here. I'm gonna absolutely not allow that to happen. If I can potentially stop that.
I'm going to need a psionic strength roll.
Okay.
Telepathy.
I might as well just piss in the wind on this one.
Here
I'm
we
gonna need you to-
go.
When they're jacked
Oh,
up.
that
on
was
this
with the
shit.
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah. Without a boon. We
Without
can
a
just
boon.
find out what your first two rolls were.
You
that
say
was
it's telepathy?
Yes, please.
Minus 2 off of that, so it's a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10. Ooh. That's interesting. It's a tie. You know what that means? It's a trio.
All 3 of us are here?
Terrica,
So
what the
say
fuck
what
are you
you
doing?
say.
That's in physical and psionic
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Terrica says, talking to the being who's been fucking you up. And they'll look up at Sue. And they'll say,
I'm sorry, I
why
don't
were you talking?
I don't remember you.
Why would you? Have we met?
I don't think we have. I'd have to check my logs. How may I help you?
Have you been speaking to Val in his dreams?
I'm sorry. Val, who is this?
Sue, this is Terrica.
Ah, our pilot. You look different.
I am.
Sue, how do they look different?
Hmm.
You can go with a feeling if that's easier.
Well, there was a pilot I knew named Terrica. Nope. That's not right anymore. I feel like, you remind me of somebody I think I used to know, but I don't think I know you. Well,
How
welcome
old
aboard
are
the
you?
ship. Strange question. Welcome aboard the Gambler. Logs say you've been here all along, but seems like the first time I've seen you. Welcome.
How old are you, Sue?
Val?
Sue's a young buck.
Young according to what species? You know Sue's a Viridian being. Have you known this whole time, Val?
Hey, you remember when I busted the Gambler up? We should probably get back to that.
Nope. You're more important than the gambler. How long have you known Sue as a Viridian being?
I just sussed that out in the recent.
Val, what's this conversation going on right now?
Sue, why don't you go ahead and see yourself out? We'll get back to you on this.
All
You got
right.
work to do, buddy.
All right. Val, you're not going to let anything happen to me, are you?
And with every ounce of honesty that Val has ever possessed, he says the following. Over my dead body, buddy.
All right. And Sue, looking a bit younger than Val now, just looks to Val like an older brother just sort of said that they had his back. And Sue dematerializes, both holographically and psionically. Looking a tad confused about what all of this was about, like they're a little disoriented, right? Like there's like a little bit of disorientation for them. They're a little confused, but they are 100% a psionic being, because you would not be in this conversation with them if they were not.
So how are you protecting yourself now that you know?
I don't need protection.
Okay.
Terrica, please.
What? What? Literally, you started smoking about the same time things started happening, and there have been a series of changes in you, Val. And I'm not trying to be dramatic here. I'm being serious.
Terrica, you're in a different body. Are we really going to start throwing around the changes card?
I'm just worried that he's affecting you,
I mean,
and I'm worried he's been doing that this whole time.
I think this trip is affecting all of us. I think it's revelatory. I think we are expanding, evolving, whatever you want to call it. We're typing.
Am I gonna lose you?
How can you? Terrica, when I told you in that lab that I was never going to let you go again, did you think I was lying? Be honest. If you thought I was lying, tell me.
No. I don't think you think you're going to lose me ever again.
Do you think I'm fooling myself? Do you think I'm under some type
Maybe.
of compulsion?
Maybe.
Test me.
This is a viridian being that we don't... All right.
You asked me if I killed that pirate. Did I lie?
No.
Do you think I would have? If I was trying to convince you I was on your version of the up and up?
All right.
It doesn't
Have
have to
you-
be nefarious, Terrica. It doesn't have to be a problem. At least not one that ends in tragedy. It can be a fun problem to solve. I'm working on something.
All right. You're working on something. What are you working on?
Before you answer that question, I need to say two things. One, Quint, you're at the bar
Yeah,
inside the hangar
I am. Yep, sure.
with your scout friends.
Friends is a loose term, but yes.
They've bought you drinks. There's like 5 or 6 of them there.
And I'll buy them all drinks too, because that's, you know, the camaraderie thing to do.
Yeah. Probably like a good 15 minutes or so of pleasant chat.
Mm-hmm.
Niceness. Nothing weird. Asking me how things are going. What are you doing? All, you know.
Yeah.
When the door opens to the hangar, people are coming in and out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time. It's not that big, but they're clearly
It's
people
not that busy, but there's people
No.
coming in and out. Yeah.
Yeah, there are clearly other people here who are pilots and whatnot, and other folks.
Checks
And
out.
then a suit of combat armor sort of walks in, comes over to your table, and sits down next to you. And the scouts are like, "What is that?"
I'm gonna
Could be Val.
could be Val. I'm gonna try to psionically connect to see if it's Val or Sue.
When you suddenly connect, you have to suddenly connect to a specific mind.
Okay.
Whose mind would you like to connect to? By the way, this suit says, "Well, I'm glad to join you all for this drink."
That's not Val. Okay, I'm gonna connect
I'm Sue.
to Sue. Yeah.
Could I get a drink, please? And the scouts are like, Stevie's like, why are you in that suit? Well, of course I'll get you a drink. Get another one for Sue? For Sue here.
Quint's like, Don't panic. Don't panic. Just internally. Just keep calm. Play it cool, Quint. Play it cool. And then on the outside is like, this is a member of the crew on the ship that I am doing
Wrong
part-time
accent.
work on. I'm sorry. That is correct. Thank you. Quint would not have fucked that up. That was all me.
You're right.
This is Sue, member of the crew on the scout ship. Or not the scout ship, the ship I'm doing part-time work for.
Pleased to meet you. I'm here to just make sure that my dear friend here is doing well and have some sociable time.
And then I'm gonna lean over, because I've already, like, said that they're kind of given, like, they're a little strange, and just lean over and say, he never gets out of the suit.
And they're just like...
And I just shrug, like, I don't know, but it's fine. And then turn to Sue and say, good to see you.
Yeah. Rebreather. And then sort of like sit and like pulls out a deck of cards. It's like, poker? It starts dealing out cards to everybody.
How's everybody? There were a few drinks in. I mean, they've
Yeah.
bought around for me, I bought around for them, so they're probably pretty chill with this. As long as everyone's chill, we're
Everybody
okay.
seems pretty chill.
Then we're good. We can play
Yeah.
some poker.
Absolutely good. Severance and the Harlock. You two have been left alone. Together.
Where?
Well, you're no longer in the hold. I imagine you must have been moving up to the upper level.
Yeah, I probably started walking up whenever
Yeah.
whenever voices started being raised. Who did this?
So what happened? I was taken by TkTks.
Well, first, are you feeling better? You were feeling something when we were leaving the base.
It seemed to have passed.
Oh, and she's kind of starts like pawing a little bit, being like looking at the eyes, looking to make sure he's not like looking physically ill in any sort of capacity.
I think he is less resistant to you examining him than he usually is.
That's unusual. And you say you didn't have another vision of sorts?
That's a hard question. Because I don't know. I have memories and visions all the time clash. And I don't know what. Sometimes it's a memory, sometimes a vision, and I don't know which one was really mine.
So you've been having more of Merrimore's
I would
remembrances.
assume yes.
So, well, such as what you've seen, this may help us locate him.
Recently, I had one where I was, I would only assume I was in the body of Merrymore, about to raid a home where I was.
And I think she, at that, she immediately, like, kind of freezes. Where you were.
Well, where we both were. I thought I was me until I turned to look to one of the. It looked like they were someone in the Imperium. Someone I was.
Not Imperium something, but not Imperium.
Some sort of. Maybe it wasn't Imperium, but regardless, some sort of organization. And
Organization. What did they look like?
I will explain what they look like. I mean, what I can remember, but it's fuzzy.
He's explaining a Zodani psionic strike team.
I explained it on Zodani's Iron Strike Team. And
That's exactly what they
So-
look like.
yes, so it's
Oh my word!
right. And then it would only assume I was me, and then I would look. I was Marrymore, and I was going to infiltrate our home. There was a baby screaming,
Don't know what you could.
and food was being made, but I don't. It's it could be what it. You know, it probably is probably
It's-
Marrymore's dreams.
It's probably
what I'm having.
something like that. I don't. When Severance, when would we have had a home? That's
That's what I'm saying. It could have just be a Marrymore dream, or just like I said, these memories and visions clashing. It's been happening more and more lately.
what. When you were standing outside of the house, what did you hear or see?
I smelled root vegetables from an old Drinaxian recipe that I remember. And I heard a child screaming, a human child screaming, and then I saw just the outside of a home. And my rapier that I had on my hip suddenly turned into a assault weapon of some sort,
Yes.
a rifle.
Yes, I specialized in psionics, but go on.
And all I really remember. I went to open the door, and that's when I woke up. On Quint's back, wrapped up like a baby.
It could have been the Harlock. That could have been one of those psionic loops. The TkTks might have been able to induce him into a sonic loop to keep him in the way that you had once been trapped. That might have been how they got him, right? Sort of putting him in a sonic loop, and then he wouldn't have been aware, and then it could have spirited him away. But if you remember your psionic loop, it was a place you had been before. It was your home.
Well, I believe that if it's of any consolation, I don't think that you were having. That doesn't seem like something that Marrymore would have been involved in.
I wouldn't know, really.
remember ever seeing Marrymore on the planet.
On TkTk.
No. No. Not on
Drinax.
TkTk. Adjacent-esque. But further away. Have you had any other memories?
Yes, the one of Terrica in the lab, which of course led us here.
Yes.
A jumble of them. None that you don't already know.
No. Well, that's good. That's good. You will need to let me know for research purposes, of course. We need to
Yes.
make sure. And she starts kind of straightening his stuff up. We'll have to make sure that you're not having any sort of weird happenings from this Marrymore brain you're wearing.
Yes, 100%. No weird happenings here. None whatsoever. So I guess we should make our way. You should probably tell your crew that we should be heading and getting things ready for a cease.
Yes, of course. Admiral. And I
And
think
you just hear, get a room, you two. And there's Kareen, who just like, you're all just like touching each other, and Kareen's there like eating food off of a knife at the galley, just looking at you both.
Carl like drops her hands and steps back, and then turns to Lee. I guess Severance. Where's Severance going? I imagine he'd be going.
It's a
Severance is
very
going to
small
turn.
ship.
Yeah, Severance is going to turn and go, don't you have a professor to be watching?
Oh. I locked him in. And she just like eats a potato. And she goes, stops. And she goes, right. She gets up, takes her plate, and walks over to her, leaves the galley. It took her a bit to be like, oh, that was a hint. Walks away with her food.
Yeah, I think the Harlock turns to leave and like gets a little bit of a distance away, and doesn't turn back around, but would just say, "Do you remember the song?"
Yes.
And then she just kind of goes.
And in the hold, where Val and Terrica are, Val said he was working on something. And these two, so connected right now, and with so much extra psionic power. Terrica, you see someone behind Val, maybe 20 feet behind Val, standing between some of the cargo crates. You see an Aslan woman dressed as a waitress in a black, sort of kind of like what we would think like a 1950s style waitress outfit with a white apron. And she's standing there. Val can't see her, but she's looking at Val, and she like touches her hands, her fur, and sort of looks a little bit confused, and then taps the cargo, one of the crates, lightly, and it seems surprised.
Who are you?
Says Terrica Val.
Terrica's saying that to the lady.
Well, I know, but Val does not know there's anybody else there.
Oh, yeah, true. So Terrica is like looking past Val. Sorry, there's like a piece of my actual hair come through this wig. And it's like, who are you? Val, do you see that?
No. What should I be seeing?
Does it look exactly like the person that Terrica saw on... Okay.
Yes, it does. It 100% absolutely does. Although I would say the difference is this person looks a little younger and way less beat up. This person looks a bit more idealized, a bit more... a bit better off. Not yet captured and tortured by anyone.
Still alive and happy.
Still alive and happy. Mm-hmm.
Terrica will say, remember that... Wait, I can't remember. Sorry, outside of game. I cannot remember if Terrica knows that person was tied to Free Fields or not. I think it was
because
mentioned.
it was all in
right?
the news. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're going to say, you remember that woman that they captured from Free Fields? She's standing right over there.
No, she's not. He doesn't look. No, she's not.
And the minute he says that, she goes away. And that is where we're going to end our episode. But she was about to try to come and to get closer. But the minute he said, she's not there,
Oh.
She disappears.
Snap.
And that is the end of the episode, with Sue playing poker with Quint at the bar, with Terrica and Val in the hold with the Greaves, with Wesley. I'm not quite certain what's going to happen with when Terrica sees the bridge, and Kareem certain that something's going on between the captain and the admiral, but I'm sure nothing's going on between the captain and the admiral. Everybody, that's the end of our episode.
Ooh.
As far as I know, you're all ready to go back to Assis, with the exception of the problem that you'll probably have to hire a pilot and an astrogator to take the yacht back. But that's pretty easy to do on this planet because people are happy to go and get some money to leave this place and fly it back to Drinax or wherever you want to go.
They can come with us. We need a fleet.
Hey, you're getting a fleet waiting for you.
Flotilla.
This is how the Admiral actually exists.
Yeah.
This is how the Admiral actually exists. It's a pretty easy thing. It's like you got to roll a 7.
We
Like,
could
it's
just
pretty
send them
easy.
straight to Drinax. They get their way ahead of us because it's a jump floor, and they're like, who sent you here? Admiral Severance sent me here.
But, you know, if you have any secret messages you want
And
them to
they're like,
carry along,
Admiral.
Ooh,
It's a jump 4. That thing is.
it's
We
a
should.
jump
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
ship.
Let's
it
move
only
to that
fits-
ship.
4
Terrica
people.
got
Oh,
so
no, we
excited.
can get rid of some people.
Yeah, okay.
Really only
Have
holds
someone else
2.
pilot the Gambler.
It really holds 2. It's like rich person, their steward, and their
Yeah.
pilot. You know what I mean? Like it's not a. It's
It's like a
Porsche
Porsche
ship that is-
Speedster.
That's what it is. It's like
Yeah.
it's like haha. And really rich people in the Empire like to race them sometimes. You know, it's a.
Racing yachts.
I wonder,
Yes.
has Terrica ever seen
I bet
the
they only go
racing
4
yachts?
sectors.
The thing is, you don't have any.
Probably not around
Drinax doesn't have a lot of
Drinax.
ships left.
Yeah.
And
And
They'll
they have
take
to
anything.
be- Yeah.
yeah.
I
But
think this
it's
would be their
nice.
first.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's nice.
We should stop off at number 1 first.
Oh, so
The first impression of
Yeah.
someone from Drinax is a
yeah.
yacht. Just be
Yeah.
like, oh, we made a great deal.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
this is a ooh, it's nice. It's nice.
It's
But,
so cool, you guys. Jump forward.
It's a jump 4.
Four
It's
is
a
really
jump 4
cool.
ship, which is
I
one
want
of the
so
fastest
bad
ships
to,
around.
like, I
So
want
that's
to
our
like
messenger.
clamp it onto the Gambler, but we can't because it's
Won't
too
fit.
big.
It's
Like
too
it's
big.
literally
Way too
half the
big.
size of the Gambler.
We looked it
Yeah.
all up last week
Yeah.
after the
It's too
game. We're like,
big.
can we clamp it?
No,
No,
I was
can't
like,
clamp it.
I want to have this ship so bad. I want this
Too
ship
big.
like.
We should hire a crew to just be the courier. They are the ones who are dropping off our money and our
Yes.
notes to the king.
I mean,
And
honestly,
you can.
it's not a bad idea.
Because we need to
can.
pay the king.
It's,
And
we,
this-
we do need, and we have a lot of.
Oh
And
my
this-
god, can the crew
this-
be all TkTks?
We need to have someone we
don't-
trust on the crew though too. What about
They don't have
what
that
about Kareem?
technology.
I trust those
Does
TkTks.
Kareem know how to astrogate or pilot?
Yeah.
Well, if we have an astrogator pilot and then we have Kareem to make
Yep.
sure that they don't
You
Now
can
that we
pilot.
could do.
mess
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
up.
That
right?
we
Like
could
we
do,
need
yeah.
one of our people on that ship, not to. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
no.
stop. I'll,
Kareem was a
I'll
flight
read
not
that to
attendant.
the
tolerate
actual
mutiny.
Wasn't she?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
She'd stab somebody.
yeah.
Yes. So that's a thing you'll just have to. I will tell you, this is a planet where you can find people who will want to leave for money, and
Okay.
because it's very difficult. Let me put it this way: they're not going to want to steal that ship. If they do, it'll be not great because again, transponders are really hard to turn off, and they're easily tracked. So people don't tend to want to steal ships because it gets them in big trouble. But you've got this really amazing ship that you can ship people back to. You can do stuff with it, chat about it. But that said, you are all mostly cleared to leave, and the Quint is scouting out getting pilots and astrogators for you. I think in the bar.
I'm carousing. Yeah.
Yes,
Who
carousing to
would
go
know
and find some people.
pilots and astrogators? People who've lived here for 2 years.
Yes. So next week when we come back, I believe you will be heading back to Assis. You might have some things to wrap up, send some things here or there, but you'll be together in jump space in a way that's full of happiness and joy. And
this can only go so well.
withdrawal symptoms, I promise you, they will happen next week.
I dodged him for another week.
You did for now, but next week they're happening. And I want to give love to everybody. So if we could have each and every one of you say who you are, where we can find you, and give some love to the crew. And then, what are you looking forward to while you're trapped together in jump space for the next coming week? That's what I want to know. And I want to start with the best Cord. Cord, I'm going to give you my love as I call you out. Cord, I want to say I loved your... There was a turn that happened today at the end when you were like, wait a minute, you're beginning to articulate, like, what is a memory? Like, you were able to say it out loud, and that you sometimes don't know the difference between what is a memory and what is actually your memories and what is Mary Moore's memories. But in saying it out loud, I could see Severance begin to sort of separate those things a little bit and begin to see, wait, no, that one was more me or not. And I was like, ooh, that's going to be an exciting problem for later as Mary Moore is able to start separating the things that are Mary Moore's memories and the things that are Severance's memories.
Yeah.
So, so that's my love to you, and I pass it to you, my friend.
Thank you. So hi everybody, I'm Cord. I stream sometimes. Check me out or don't, whatever. I'll be here next Friday. So today was awesome. I have so many questions. I'm still so confused about a lot of things because of TkTk and all of that. Like what was the truth or not? I don't quite know. Because I feel like I was taken as a hostage, but I also don't...
We saved you.
Really? Yeah, I believe that. Sort of.
I was
But
gonna say that's the least belief I've ever heard.
I believe you. I believe you.
It's for real.
Uh-huh.
You were taken as a hostage, but what they did was they just put you in in your
The
memories.
loop. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
In
then
a
while you're in
wacky
your memories,
loop.
they could just pick you up
It
and move
dragged
you away.
you away.
They
We
dragged
came
you
out
away.
and you were gone. We had to walk for like an hour.
Yeah.
They are really delicate. They have
They're
hollow
very
bones.
delicate.
They are
They're
Did
very
delicate.
small.
abduct you though, and they
They're
kicked you
very
alive.
delicate.
They did. They tried
They have hollow
very
bones. That
hard.
probably didn't hurt. It was probably just like...
No,
something-
they-
Got a lot of
they-
little footprints all over
Yeah.
your toes, little dusty footprints. Yeah.
It's why they put you in a
It's
loop
so
because
cute.
they couldn't beat you. If they tried to attack you physically where you were awake,
Yeah.
you might have
You
just
just wake
murdered
up.
them all.
Yeah,
We
it would be
did
annoying.
have to dodge spears though. Many
Yeah.
were thrown at us.
One hit.
One landed.
I believe you. And we'll never know.
They're
One
very
did hit.
weak.
Yeah.
So they were just like, let's put him in a loop,
Yep.
and then we'll just drag him away, which is what they did. And you had a
Did
lovely
want to
time.
kill you.
I had a wonderful time. And I also had a wonderful time tonight. You were also great, as always, watching Ari, watching you be, the cool new outfit. That's sweet. But watching you taking command of whatever the hell happened. I still don't know. Super cool. Great. We now have a yacht. Cool. I'm still so confused. But that was fun to watch. And I'm sure I will know next time. That you are a clone, or you're not a clone, but you're in a clone body. It's actually you, but you're in a clone body. Or like there was some wacky Marymore questions too, which was freaking me out. Anyway, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Really liked it. Lindy, when you were tonight, when you had the moment to be like, let's go get that drink, they don't want to be bothered. Like you just being like, I'm gonna distract the scout from the crew was really cool because like that also you would rather the crew be Quint would rather the crew be left hidden and her faked death or their faked deaths be sort of like sort of what's the word
In danger.
In danger, right? Yeah. So that was awesome to see. Just to see that sort of loyalty was really cool. When there's wonderful little moments tonight with Greg. Greg, you did the literally like the Spartacus time where everybody tried to be Spartacus, and you're like, no, it was me. That was awesome. Because I was trying really hard to be like, nah, I'll just take the fall. But just there were some really great moments tonight, and watching you with Ari fly the ship and to have these moments was super awesome. And I feel like it's been a couple of episodes since we've got to see that. So thanks for bringing that. And also, my brain is melting right now. Rocket, when you did the, my favorite part was when you were I'm losing. My brain is leaking out of my ears. I've been up super early, and I've been working in the workshop all day, so my creativity is like, my brain can't think.
When you're in a sonic loop, you know.
I'm in a loop. I'm in a loop. TkTks are doing this to me.
Yeah, none of this is real right now.
Yeah, when there was
Just kidding.
there was a really the Val did it. Like just the Val did it. We were doing the Spartacus thing. You're like, no, Val did it, and just like just throwing him under was hilarious. And of course, that the ending scene was really great, and being able to have that moment and to have our characters start to explore old memories, but like it's really awesome to see the Harlock be so gentle with Severance, because he's not a gentle person, but like it's awesome seeing the Harlock in her element, where she knows how delicate the mind can be, and it's really cool to see that, because like as bombarded and as traumatized mentally and psionically that Severance has been, it's really cool to see that there is this ginger, gentle person with the Harlock. So yeah, anyways, just thank you everybody for letting me be here, and I will be here next week. I have to head out because my ride is here, but you're all wonderful, and thank you for this, and I can't wait to ask more and learn more about what the hell happened in TkTk next week.
Drugs.
Drugs okay.
Happened.
All right.
Hey, what they say, what happens in TkTk stays in TkTk, so.
Does it?
That's right.
Probably not, actually. Probably just
Drugs.
You
guys, let's have more drugs. Let's all take drugs. It'll just
I love
be
you
fun.
all.
Love you, Cord. Speaking of love, I'm going to have to take it over to Rocket Fox. Rocket Fox, you are next. And because I'm giving my love to you now, I just want to say I want to give you great love for just the lullaby. You gave me something last week with a little bloody hand on the wall. And so I was like, I see what you're putting down. I'll give it back to you. And so I want to sort of thank you for the hand last week that allowed me to give you a loop this week. So thank you. And Harlock, please tell me, Rocket, where can we find you? And give some love.
Yes, hello. Once again, it is I, Rocket Fox, also known as AKA the Harlock. Yeah, I'm around. If you look me up, I'll be there. Look into the distance, I'll be there. Look in the medicine cabinet behind you, I'll be there. And yeah, as far as Love Tonight goes, yes, I'll start with Cord because he's not here and I can say all the meanest of things. But I loved at the very beginning the exploration of that space, and just the way that he maneuvered through there and really sussed out and felt everything that was going on. That loop / memory question mark. Yeah, I thought that was really lovely. Also, moving along, Lindy, I love the Quinn and Harlock duo tag team. Just the amount of shits they do not have to give is just truly delightful. And I love that also. I don't know if it's because just these characters we have, but like immediately after, Harlock leans in and was like, yo, so this is what's going on with Terrica. Lindy and Rocket both just like sat back and crossed our arms, like just getting in these characters. We were like, fuck yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's a power team that I am ready to endorse. Ari, the moment that Terrica leaned in, was talking to Severance about like being a clone. Like we saw these moments of just this, the one might say shiny power, others might say artificial grape flavored astroturf. But there's been a lot of this sense of power and like changing your positioning and your body language and voice and such. But then there was back to this moment of like, just, I think I might be a clone, you know, just a lot of vulnerability coming back into there. So I thought that was lovely to see. And then Greg, I just, there are these moments that continue that feel so, where I can't tell like what I think about Val. And I think that's such a cool and interesting moment. Like these, when he's having the conversation about like, yeah, I killed him. I didn't light him on fire, but he was in our space. What's up? You know? And like, and bringing that question of like, yeah, every life matters, but some are more important, right? Like we can really, and like, Greg, you're able to do that in a way where I don't feel like Val is just being a shitty human person, you know? Because I feel like a lot of times it could be like, you could have a character say it and be like, yeah, you know, everyone matters, but some people just matter more than the rest, right? You know, like, and you could be like, wow, you are a piece of shit, you know? And like, but you bring a way that Val says it to where it's like, he believes it in a way that makes sense and doesn't feel like, maybe it is actually shitty, but like, it's also very true to the world, right? It's like,
and also the Harlock and Quint were murdering people on the other ship at the exact same time. So I mean,
you know what? I wasn't going to bring that up necessarily. Like that's neither here nor there. And we were on their ship, but like they were fighting us.
That's what Val said.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like Val brings it up in such a way that it's like, it doesn't feel like necessarily a personal belief. It's just like a fact of life, right? And I can really appreciate that because that's kind of also the world we live in, unfortunately. You know, as much as you want to have this idealized kind of thing, it's kind of not the way that it is. And then Trooper, you pick up all the little pieces and you weave the threads together. And one moment that I really noticed that I thought was absolutely delightful is like, I think it was Val and Terrica having this conversation, Trooper, and then you're just like, and then a light goes on, you know, and then there's a blinking, and you always just bring in like, oh, something's happening now. Children gather around, and now the robots are here, you know, and just always kind of crafting this very cinematic storytelling, which is amazing. So was there another question beyond that? No.
Okay. So I think from there we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go to Lindy. Lindy, hey, tell us where we can find you, and then give some love. But I will give you love first. I do really appreciate the ways in which you took one for the team, but that's not my love that I'm going to give you. The love I'm going to give you is just how you acted when Sue came to sit down at the table. And there was like a very nice, what's the word, slightly conflicted situation there, because you had to manage the scouts, Sue, and whatever all that might mean later, right? But you gave a good excuse why somebody would decide to hang out in a combat suit, an Imperial combat suit at that. But, you know, it was just this really lovely little bit of like, oh, hold on a second. Okay, I've got this. Like, it was, I could see the inner like, well, and the outer, we're cool. Yeah, I want to give you that.
It's my turn to talk. I was just like, oh shucks.
It's your go.
Hi, it's me. I'm Laugh Love Lindy, and I'm 100% not scatterbrained ever. That's a big lie. My love for tonight. My love. First of all, I have to let everyone know that I ship it so fucking hard. I need the Harlock and Severance to just smooch already because
That's what Kareen said.
oh my gosh. Kareen,
Well,
same
Kareen said to get a
page.
room, but you know.
Same page, Kareen, same page. I've been sitting here for weeks, tormented, going, oh, they're so cute. I can't stand it.
Now kiss.
Just yeah, I'm ready for it. I need it. That's my
It's
love. Just
so
my
epic.
generic shipbuilding frustration. I'm sitting there at the dry dock like, come on, when are the materials gonna arrive? I got a ship to build. But
Wait,
so that's my love.
I just remember I need to get a piece of audio. Thank you. I need to write this down because.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. I hate that. But yeah, my love for Cord, it goes to just hating being swaddled up and slung over like a backpack because we had to carry him somehow and he was unconscious. So it had to be done. But I loved him just being like not saying that he hated it, but was like, no, I'm good. Just every time. Just I can walk, I'm fine. I just loved it. Never specifically stated that he hated it. It just brought me joy. My love for Fox is that you and I were completely on the same page of being like, we saved you. You were like super kidnapped and like they wanted like murder you because they thought you were the warlord. Like, yeah, we were like completely same page of Severance definitely needs to feel like he owes us one. Just 100%. Because then maybe he'll feel like we're even and not above us. I don't know. I loved that. I loved that little bit at the end with Terrica and Wesley. Well, first of all, just being like, the ship! But specifically, they're like, what happened to the bridge, Wesley? What, you mean, you gonna show me? No, we have to wait for Quent. What happened to the bridge? Like, just looking at everyone's like, not saying a word about it. And then Wesley letting slip that the ship got dented. But don't worry, the bridge will make up for it.
Will it, or will it make it worse? I mean, because
well, even
that's
Ari
fair. Doesn't know what's happening on the bridge.
You don't know what's happened
even
to
Ari
the bridge.
doesn't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Everyone
god, you
else
guys! I
does.
thought it was a good thing.
Well, we'll
I mean, you'll
know
just have to
once you
see.
see. Why do you
You'll
think
just have
I
to
wanted
see.
you to go alone with Wesley to the bridge? That's what I'm gonna say. Why do you think I said, hey, you should have Wesley take you to the bridge? You should go look at the bridge with Wesley.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Ari wasn't here when we discussed what happened. What happened
Ari
to
was
the
not
bridge?
here. Yeah. There's a whole week,
You can tell me, chat. It's okay. Say it.
Don't
Chat,
say it.
don't say it. Don't tell them.
And then my love for Greg. Greg, I love and adore you. Just in general, like just earlier this week, I was editing video and going, I love these chuckle fucks. They're so great. But specifically tonight, when we were making rolls to land, and I had to roll pilot smallcraft, and I rolled a 14, you were just like, it brought me joy. I just wanted you to know that it's the little things. I like that I've known you for 7 years now, and so I can just see little micro expressions on your face, and they bring me joy. That is my love for you tonight. It's just thank you for being you. And also being like the two things I hate. I would hate to get hurt the most. Quint and this other guy. That also tickled me. And then of course my love for Trooper for just stirring the pot constantly, being like, and now the scouts show up again, and being like, just doing his thing. Yeah, so that's my love. You can find me, Laugh Love Lindy. I've prattled on about love enough, but I just love you guys so much. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. You can find my channel bi-weekly Mondays and Tuesdays, the New Batch campaign and our Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign. We just wrapped up Mysteries at the End of the World. We had our final episode. I am working on editing the documentary for said short run show. Yeah, oh yeah. It's coming together and it's going to be beautifully terrible. If you thought the 80s intro for Mysteries at the End of the World was bad, oh man, this is going to be worse. And I'm so ready for it.
So good.
But also, you can find me on Tuesdays on Jay Britton's channel playing Call of Cthulhu Dark Ages with Hotflakes Tom as the GM. And it's super duper fun. And maybe something exciting will be coming to my channel at the end of the month. Maybe something in the early 1800s. I don't know. That's all. That's me.
No one knows. But speaking of early 1800s, I suppose we have to go to the player who was almost as old as I, because I was born in the early 1800s. Greg, you're not as old as I. You don't actually get the full vampire treatment, but I'm going to toss it to you. Where can we find you and then give some love? But my love to you first is going to be, first off, the way that you spoke about killing those people in such like gentle sincerity was brilliant. But that's not going to be the love that I'm going to give you. The love that I'm going to give you is for your commitment to Sue. That was just so sincere, and it was so disarming to Terrica, and I loved it. Like, I'm there for that. Like, I appreciated that very much because it made me laugh on the inside, because I was like, and also on the outside sometimes. But there's like such an earnestness about Val, while Val's also a liar. And both of those things are true. Val is also the kindest and most loving person and also murders some people. And both of those things are true in a way that feels very endearing. And also I think about how much Val does not know because Val blocks out things from his memory. And I just think about that quite a lot. And it was just very well done. It was very beautiful. So I want to say that and I toss it to you.
Oh, thank you so much, buddy. And just for the record, I want to let the record state, I love all of these people very, very much, despite what I say about killing their characters or wishing them death, or they're exactly what you think they are. They are fantastic people, kind, and it is the safest table I've ever taken to. So it is the nicest place to play, and that has to do with all of the community members too, because it's incredibly supportive, incredibly kind. I joke around quite a bit, everybody, but I really, really mean that Friday nights are a fantastic time for me to decompress after a terrible work day. Today sucked. And this absolutely brings me out of that funk. Ari was nice enough to say, I think it was Ari, said, I hope this brings you out of it. You know, I hope that you're able to, because I mentioned in our chat before, and it did. It very much did. And that was because of all these players and, of course, the community here at the Foxhole. My name is Greg. If you want to follow me over on YouTube, you can join me. I'm Warp Reactor over there. I do science fiction. I try to make myself a better science fiction fan. And so I'm doing Star Trek Lower Decks and the original series and The Expanse and just a bunch of fun stuff if you want to go over there and listen to my dumbass talk and be surprised about things that happened like 60 years ago. So
but also you have to be there for his thumbnails. His thumbnails are next level extra. You don't even know. They're so good. I look at his thumbnails and I'm filled with the most utmost joy and I'm tickled every time.
They're very good. And
They're
I'm a famous
very
graphic
good.
designer, so.
Oh, well, gee, thanks. But, you know, my love for all of you, it goes well beyond the characters that you portray here in the show, and I think those characters are fantastic. They are some of the most defined, the deepest characters that I've experienced at a table before. Like Lindy mentioned, you know, I don't want to get too far off in the weeds here, but, you know, we've played a very long time and we've created characters at every stage of the game. Lindy and I have traveled, you know, a third of the way across the country creating characters. And we have. And it's, you know, that's a lot of fun, but the fun is to see the characters created and then to see the players take them in directions you've never expected that to go. And this table, I can honestly say, is completely filled 100% with characters like that because the players are passionate. And this is, again, my love is for everybody for this reason. Yeah. You have characters that you have, we all watched, we had a creation episode here for Traveler. Yeah. And then you all have watched these characters grow by these players' hands. It's not something that you see every day to this level. And it is exceptional. It is born out of love, and it is a passion to a craft that I really think gets lost sometimes because role-playing is fun. It's a lot, you know, we play role-playing games. You know, you don't work role-playing games. but it is work to make sure that a character is brought forward with a realism and an emotional attachment for anybody that's watching or listening to this character that didn't create them. And I feel that attachment to each and every one of these characters. I think about them all the time. And I know that, with the comments in chat that a lot of you do too. And so that's my love. It's my love for everybody. For Cord's Severance and Lindy's Quint and Ari's Terrica, and of course for the Harlock that Rockette brings out so fantastically. And the one comment I will make is this. I was floored with the Harlock softening that we saw in that exchange with Severance. That was masterclass shit. And I'm going to be awesome. I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't seen that from Fox yet because Fox's characters are always tough as fucking nails. And you don't see those cracks. And that literally brought a tear to my eye because Fox, that was amazing. And that utterance, that kind of, is this okay? What do you remember? That was so heartbreaking because then you think the Harlock feels these things that Severance doesn't remember. And it's so fucking delicious to see shit like that. But you know what? It would fall flat if you didn't have somebody like Rockette playing that character. And I mean that with 100% of my soul. Yeah. Fantastic stuff. Everybody, these are the players, and the GM that you are all going to look at right now is an amazing GM, incredible, created a world that lives and breathes that we can drop these characters into. But more so than that, Trooper is an amazing person, a fantastic friend, and somebody I love to the bottom of my heart. I'll see you all next Friday because I'm going to cry a little bit later.
And last but certainly not least, up is Ari to say where we can find them and then give some love, but I get to give love first. And my love first is going to be, first off, I do appreciate you letting me mess with you just a little bit about what it means to be in this new body. Severance had to do recuperation when being traumatically transported into a body for some time. And you are just beginning to explore what does it mean to be in this new body, a body that, brain meat and inner spirit and all of that together. And I really appreciate the ways in which Terrica is both the Terrica that we know, but you can see these little, threads of this other person who's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more confident, a little bit more resolute, in a way, a little bit more confident in things other than piloting, that seems so positive, such a positive, you're just more confident in yourself. That's great, but you never know if that actually is true. And I, not that you're not more confident, but just not one that actually is great. And I really love this line that you're playing with this Terrica in a new embodied form. It's subtle. It's nice. I'm waiting to see what happens the next time you get your hand on a sword and need to stab somebody. That's what I'm excited about. So that's my love for you.
I honestly don't know what's going to happen. That is part of what I love about this art form, though, is that you never really know what's going to happen. You can think about possibilities and paths and options, but you never really know which one is going to happen until you're in the moment making that decision. Yeah. So, I legitimately don't know who is going to win in that battle for Terrica. So that's fun. Hi, I'm Ari _Ventures. You can find me online here on Fridays, playing with all these amazing, fantastic people. Greg, I think, said something about being the highlight of his week, and honestly, same. This place is so much fun, and that's not just because of the people here, but it's chat. It's all of us together. And you can also find me live in Seattle at Unexpected Productions. I perform at Theater Sports, and I just got cast in a show that I'm very excited about. It's called Impossible Loves, and it is a paranormal romance show. So, say if you will, what happens when think Twilight but better and improvised.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm so excited for that show. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And then, holy cow, so much love. So I actually wrote it all down because I was worried I would forget. And then some of them got taken. So I'm improvising here. So here we go. Trooper, there was a comment made earlier about you stirring the pot, but they didn't specifically recognize the fact that you brought the waitress into psionic space with Terrica and Val. And I feel like that is one of the best pot stirring moments because Terrica saw the reaction that Val had, right? They ended up being with him that afternoon, but they didn't understand what was happening. They were just there knowing something was wrong, being a friend. And now suddenly this being shows up in psionic space and Val says they don't exist and they disappear. So that's fun and a lot of pot stirring, which is just this sort of like level of GM where you look and you pull threads from the past into the present to stir what is happening in the moment. And it makes it so much fun because you can't plan anything in general with RP, but then you get handed like a stirred pot and you're like, oh, this is like, man, look at all those spices blending together with all of that sausage and like these great pasta noodles. Like this is a good soup. So thank you for that.
I'm just going to say that Aslan woman has been in every season of this show and has manifested from the very first episode in various moments, and I'm just putting it out there, usually in some kind of connection with Val in some way, just noting that. That's all.
I love that so much. Oh, that's so interesting. That's interesting.
Isn't it?
It's just interesting. Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Terrica sees it. That's all.
Now Terrica sees it. Well, we saw what happened last time Terrica saw things, so we'll see how paranoid Terrica gets. I don't know. They're in a new body. Isn't that fun? So, speaking of Val, I wrote down a cryptic note to myself. Val's change comment. Oh, it was when the comment where Terrica was like, "You've changed, blah, 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 blah." And he's like, "You're in a clone body right now. Do you really want to have the conversation of change in this moment?" And there were a couple of points throughout that whole conversation where Val really just disarmed Terrica's like fire. And I think that's really interesting on a couple of levels. One, it's fantastic playing against you because you're really good at being able to figure out how to disarm, which is fun. Because then what happens when you're disarmed, right? Do you become more terrified and fight harder, or do you lay down arms and surrender? And I think that's a question that we get to figure out, right? So with this new Terrica, what do they do? I don't know. But I thought it was a fantastic gift. Huh?
And a new suit.
And a new Sue who didn't recognize Terrica, which that is another thing that I really, really liked. Because, well, for a lot of reasons. We can talk about that later. It was good pot stirring. Like how do you deal with the fact that like a being that has been on the ship doesn't recognize you? Something clearly must have changed. I don't think Terrica knows what it is yet, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lindy, your pure excitement when Sue arrived, like just the like her like or them getting so excited at the fact that like he was there, he was with them, he's willing to play cards. Like I feel like we just saw Quint and Sue's first date. Like and I don't know if that's actually their like if this is maybe date 500 or something for them, but like
might be.
You know, it was just such a it was such a good like it was just such a like wholesome, sweet, you know, we see this side of Quint that we haven't really seen in interactions with other people yet. And I was like, oh, that is like it's just another like peeling back of the layer of who the character is and this masterful showing of how deep that goes and who matters to them and all of these pieces that I think is so much fun. And Fox, so originally I wrote down that conversation where the Harlock just sort of like leaned back and was like, so like, that's a clone, right? Like, but I think that got mentioned a little bit earlier, but honestly, it was such a good moment. And the other moment of like the softness that we saw and the connection that we saw between the Harlock and Severance today was just, oh, my heart. Like, so I'm sorry that those are repeats, but honestly, they were just so good. Like, this is the slow burn romance that we've all been waiting for. Like, please don't slow burn too much longer. Please just, but also if you slow burn, you know, that's lovely. And I already told Severance I told Cord in chat what Severance's was, which is just the like care that we saw Severance have when he went to talk to Terrica about being a clone. And just the like, hey, are you okay? Like, I will tell you everything I know. Like, we've been talking for I don't know how many seasons at this point about having that father-daughter conversation. And I think we may or may not be actually getting close to it, which is kind of cool and exciting. What's going to be said, how that's going to go, again, I don't know. But we're seeing more of these sides of Severance. There was a comment made earlier, something to the effect of like, oh, he's not a good guy or something like that. But honestly, I would argue he has a soft side. He's just very careful to protect it. And it's really delightful to keep seeing that come out, and now to start seeing that come out at the same time that we're seeing the Harlock soft side come out. It's yeah.
Can I say something? I just got to say this. We know that Severance gave consent to have his mind wiped for that year. We know that. What would drive him to say yes, to forget that entire year? And we also know that the Harlock wiped his entire mind for that entire year, but she still remembers everything that happened for that one lost year. And I'm just going to say that right there, as a GM, I'm like, oh, I just want all the popcorn right now. This is like so much. And to think that this entire time, because I always thought it was really interesting to me, it was like, Severance does all this stuff that's like arrogant and ridiculous and like dismissive of the Harlock in various ways. And the Harlock is never bothered, doesn't come back with anger, doesn't come back to attack. It's like, okay, you're the captain, that's fine, right? And I was like, there's such this like a kind of a care that the Harlock has always, from day one, given to Severance, that the Harlock does not give to other people. And I was like, interesting. I'm just going to note I just take my notes. Just take all my notes for later, and all these laters are happening. So, so much love. And I want to, I just have to say that when I said, what would Severance have said to the Harlock inside that shack? And he said, oh, dinner is served, darling. It was just like this. It was so casually intimate and wonderful. I was like, this is so beautiful. And but there's a Zodani strike force outside the door. I'm sure that's, you know what, I wouldn't worry about it. Whatever happened back then, I'm sure I wouldn't worry about it. So I'm Trooper SJP, and I love this whole crew. And I'm gonna, before I say anything, I'm gonna read off the comments from you all, because you all there in chat are also so lovely. So we got 500 bits from KY Hawkeye, who, by the way, is an amazing crafter, makes these really wonderful handcrafted wooden GM screens, and also figured out how to put like a tablet in one. It's very cool. Says, our Tagonists are together again, but will they complete their adventure, or will they all need to complete a 12-step program from psionic drug abuse before they can go on? Well, you know, somebody may have an issue with psionic drugs, and that person may also be psionically tethered to other people. Anyway,
What? Huh?
and I wonder if that sort of thing is transferable. I wouldn't worry about it. So, what we'll talk about.
It's too late, Val. One of us.
Oh,
Drugs.
well.
Drugs.
You know what? We'll find out about it in Jump Space next week. Also, we got Bex and Does. Bex's and Does gives us 100, but no message, just showing love. And I think the message is, this crew is the best crew, and they should all take psionic drugs together. I think that's what the message was meant to be. And then we got a wonderful $50 tip from Void Smoker, who has done amazing fan art, who said, highest body count since the Imperium's fake Aslan attack. Way to go, Terrica. Yeah.
I was asking Willen about this the other day, actually, because like they killed all those pilots on that planet, and now they've killed all these beings. Their body count is really fucking high.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And also, depending on how you want to count killing those clones, I mean, that's still a philosophical question about whether or not they were alive or not. So that could be even more. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Anyhow, mass murder, Terrica. So Willen has given us 200 bits at the very end with the thankful for these comments that says, thanks all for another mesmerizing episode. Thanks again. It is so awesome to be with you all. And it is really lovely to be with you all. So, I mean, I will just say, you can find me, the next time you can find me in terms of RPGs will be on Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern over at Wandering DM's channel for Montreal by Night, or Vampire the Masquerade campaign, where I play a person who started off very kind and loving and now has very little humanity left and is much less so. Sad times, it happens, it does. But you can
Let's
find me
have a
tomorrow.
conversation.
Oops.
Ooh, let me just tell you. Oh, Ari, we can talk about it. It happened. But I want to sort of say, this whole crew is great, but I think what makes this show so special to me, besides having people who are kind, who are giving, who are patient, and just lovely human beings, and therefore lovely to play with, is also the fact that those of you who are watching the show are also really nice. I've been in chats and other channels and other places where I'm sure you've seen them out there, where the audience members are like mean and they're kind of not very kind, and it gets a weird vibe. But all of y'all I find are so welcoming and helpful, and you are all excited in such a humane way that it really sets the vibe for all of us as well. And so I have such joy every week sort of hanging out with you all and with this crew of people telling these stories. And let me tell you what, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll tell you what, any crumb they give me, these players, I pick it up and I eat it, and then I turn it into Viridian, and that's what I'm going to say. So thank you all very much. And also a happy upcoming birthday for Rissa, but I'll talk more about that next week. Rissa, our loveliness. And y'all, take care of yourselves, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everybody.